He was a prodigious demonic cultivator of 1,000 years. There was no shortage of beautiful women who admired him and asked for dual cultivation. He thought his life was blooming and he was about to reach the pinnacle of glory. Who would have thought that he would be sent by the cult leader to be an undercover agent in the immortal sect? So damn frustrating. The Xuandu Temple, the #1 immortal sect, a place that relies on good deeds and merits to advance. But he, a demonic cultivator with a strong, murderous aura, was clearly courting death here. His name was Li Changsheng. Because he was grinding for views and likes for his girl, he had transmigrated to this world. There were no immortal talents or beautiful women to be seen. He was just a mere farmer. Changsheng tried his best to cultivate so he could enter the immortal sect. But then his entire village was massacred by the heavenly demon sect. Because of his talent, he was forced to cultivate as a demonic cultivator. Changsheng spent half a year killing all the disciples who had attacked his village. He successfully condensed the blood qi to advance to the qi refining stage. Because of that, he caught the eye of the higher-ups of the heavenly demon sect and was forced to go undercover. The inner sect assessment of the Xuandu Temple was coming up. The higher-ups would definitely be there this time. I'm screwed, old man. Today, suddenly the communication token in his hand lit up. Turns out it was his buddy Li, Doyen calling him over saying there was some fun to be had. He's a genius immortal cultivator, but his brain is a bit fried, Doyen whispered. Changsheng, your senses are sharp. You weren't wrong. That guy Ping Jiping is actually an undercover agent from the demonic path. He infiltrated Changsheng. How did you know there was something wrong with that Ping Jiping? Changsheng immediately bullshitted. I heard him talking in his sleep before. Contrary to his outward appearance inside, he cursed to himself, that's just... Anyway, my mission is to find a way to gain a foothold in the Xuandu Temple. So sorry, junior brother. Doyen then said that during the inner sect assessment, she had said she would thoroughly root out all the undercover agents. He also didn't forget to remind Changsheng, you should be careful, lest they take revenge on you for exposing them. He could only force a smile. I will be careful. The scene shifts to Li Changsheng's residence. At this moment, he was sitting quietly enjoying the cool breeze. In his heart, there was an indescribable anxiety as he looked at the flickering flame of magical power in his palm. He told himself, damn it, my cultivation has reached the peak of qi refining. With just a thought, I can reach foundation establishment. He furrowed his brows, lost in deep thought. With such a strong blood qi, if I'm in the Xuandu Temple, it's no different than just offering up merits to others. Don't panic, don't panic. There must be a way. Just as his anxiety reached its peak, an announcement echoed through every corner. All outer sect disciples, please pay attention. The Temple Master has some free time today, so he will personally preside over the formation and initiate the inner sect examination right now. This announcement left everyone stunned. Everyone was buzzing with chatter. The outer sect disciples quickly gather in the square to prepare for the assessment. A woman who had just woken up from a long sleep, rubbing her sleepy eyes, also immediately heard this urgent announcement. No matter what they were doing, all outer sect disciples were summoned to one place, preparing for the important inner sect assessment. The 4 Xuandu temples were truly a sect, with many special features and unique principles. The main cultivation technique of the Xuandu Temple is the qi guiding art. And what this technique guides is the key of merit, which is usually found in the darkest, gloomiest places in the world. The 3 standards for selecting disciples of the Xuandu Temple are not just based on talent, aptitude, or background. The most important thing is merit. The Xuandu Temple firmly believes that only those who possess the key of merit are truly true disciples, meeting the sect's requirements of upholding justice and righteousness, helping the weak, and saving the suffering masses. These noble actions will naturally generate merit. Such disciples will not have to worry about moral character, and the Xuandu Temple can also feel completely at ease in nurturing and teaching them. But right now, Li Changsheng was silently calculating in his heart. I have never dared to cultivate the qi guiding art, because I had some of my own plans in mind. What I can guide, unfortunately, is only the qi of bloodlust. Faced with imminent danger, he thought carefully. I was originally planning to find a good excuse to give up the examination before this inner sect assessment. Who would have thought that the Xuandu Temple would suddenly be raided, causing the schedule to be pushed up so much? Think fast before... What good things have I done to generate merit? The first lineage master, a white-haired old man, suddenly became very curious. Temple Master, the inner disciple assessment wasn't originally scheduled for 3 days later. Why such a sudden change? But the Temple Master remained calm, his deep eyes gazing into the distance. I just happened to have some free time just now, so I just decided to hold the assessment early. The first lineage master still felt very confused, unable to suppress his question. Assessing inner disciples is a trivial matter. Why would you need to personally preside over it? The Temple Master smiled and explained in detail. Everything in the world leads to prosperity and decline. It just so happens that I want to personally see the new seeds, the hidden talents of our Xuandu Temple. Senior Sister Linglong entrusted the Xuandu Temple to me, so of course I must do my best. Devote myself completely and not be negligent in the slightest. The three-souled temple master, the previous invincible in the world, had once brought the Xuandu temple to the position of the #1 immortal sect. The first lineage master finally understood everything. He nodded slightly. So that's how it is. The temple master is wise. Then, the other sect masters and elders also appeared one by one, saluting in unison, "Greetings, temple master." Li Daoyan's aunt Li Changxi also bowed, and respectfully called out, "Greetings, temple master." Now, he looked down, his gentle eyes reassuring, "Don't worry. The Qi guiding formation has just begun to take effect. Just let the Qi of merit fly for a while. Very soon, you will see the results." The first lineage master suddenly became curious and couldn't help but ask, "Temple master this time, are there any special seeds of merit? That will surprise you." The temple master didn't put too much emphasis on it. His tone was calm. Most of the outer sect disciples have only just entered the Qi refining stage. They are not over 30 years old. With such a short time and life experience, being able to generate one's own Qi of merit is already an extremely rare thing. So don't hope too much for miracles. The second lineage master added with a sigh. Senior brother Yue said, "The recruitment requirements for disciples of the Xuandu Temple are really too harsh. Other sects only consider talent and disposition, but we also require our disciples to be able to activate their own Qi of merit when they are under 30 and still in the Qi refining stage." Li Changxi spoke up confidently, her voice full of conviction. "Disciples are valued for their quality, not quantity. The Xuandu Temple has never valued quantity over quality. Quality is what we strive for. Among the powerful immortal sects, our Xuandu Temple has always had the smallest number of disciples. Yet our position as the #1 in the world remains as solid as a rock." The third lineage master couldn't help but show a worried expression. "Even though you say that, but for someone under 30, before the Qi refining stage, to be able to guide the Qi of merit is truly an extremely difficult thing." He then reminisced about the previous disciple selection examination. "Last time we only had a mere 13 disciples who passed the examination to enter the ranks of the inner sect." Stroking his silver beard, the second lineage master made a worried prediction. "The quality of this batch of disciples is probably not even as good as the last. This old man is truly concerned about whether the entire sect will face the risk of extinction or not." He was still lost in thought, when suddenly the third lineage master exclaimed in surprise, "Oh look, aren't those the lotus petals of the golden lotus of merit?" At this moment, a giant lotus, formed from the Qi of merit, was magnificently enveloping the entire body of Li Changsheng. Witnessing this rare sight, the fourth lineage master couldn't hide his admiration. Just one lotus petal is enough to symbolize that he has saved hundreds of thousands of lives. This kid obviously has the bloodline and divine talent. That suits my sect's lineage. Immediately, another lineage master retorted, "This old woman is good at lying. This person is clearly the genius of our Yanhei lineage, after all." While the two lineage masters were in a heated debate, the temple master spoke up to remind them, his tone both majestic and a little humorous. "You are both lineage masters of the same lineage. Can't you maintain a little decorum? It's just one lotus petal. It's not to the point where you two have to fight so fiercely over it." The next scene that unfolded made everyone exclaim in surprise, "Oh my God! Humanity's merit, the black-yellow body." Li Changsheng himself was also extremely stunned. The Qi of merit actually descended from the sky. "I don't have to run away anymore." The temple master was extremely surprised when he witnessed this unprecedented scene. The Qi guiding grand formation can have flaws, but the black-yellow merit pagoda, which is the #1 treasure in this world, absolutely cannot make a mistake. I have only just taken over the Xuandu temple for a short time, and a disciple has already appeared, who is recognized by the divine artifact, the black-yellow merit pagoda. This represents the will of heaven, represents hope. Under my leadership, the Xuandu temple will surely prosper and flourish. This is truly a good omen. After a month of contemplation, the temple master joyfully exclaimed, "A good omen! This is a great omen! Could this kid be the reincarnation of a great power? Moreover, a great power of our righteous path. Otherwise, how could he possess such abundant Qi of merit? At such a young age, the third lineage master was pensive, analyzing seriously. The appearance of a reincarnated true immortal in the Xuandu temple of ours has only happened twice in history by chance. Could this time also be some great figure? Could it be a great power, a true immortal from the upper realm?" Immediately, Li Changxi refuted not necessarily. She continued to introduce Li Changsheng's identity in detail. "This kid's name is Li Changsheng. He comes from a mortal fiefdom belonging to my Li family. He is protected by my Li family. His origins are very ordinary. But not long ago, he asked my nephew to secretly report to me about an undercover agent of the heavenly demon sect. Only then did he realize. No wonder you executed an outer sect disciple before. But reporting an undercover agent of the heavenly demon sect, would that give Li Changsheng this much merit?" Li Changxi continued to explain, her tone full of mystery. "Under normal circumstances, that wouldn't happen. But with that undercover agent, it's a completely different story. That undercover agent is the illegitimate son of the heavenly demon sect's leader. Everyone was in a state of extreme curiosity. About everything. They were all extremely surprised. The illegitimate son of a lineage. Master. After hearing this, the third lineage master couldn't help but frown. He looked at Chang Sheng. This kid hasn't even reached foundation establishment yet, and he's already become a mortal enemy of the strongest demon in the world. The temple master began to analyze the problem deeply. Old Demon Yu of the heavenly demon sect is the demon who is fiercely competing with our senior sister Ling Long. This kid is about to face a great deal of pressure. The bastard son of old Demon Yu. How interesting. Li Changxi recounted the entire incident in detail. After investigating, I discovered that old Demon Yu had specially sent people to massacre 100,000 lives for this illegitimate son. Then he beat the butcher until he was on his last breath, and let that illegitimate son deliver the final blow. If Li Changsheng hadn't reported it in time, then the merit phenomena we witnessed today would probably have been caused by that illegitimate son. Li Changxi continued to ramble on, analyzing more deeply. People of the demonic path will stop at nothing, but only a few of them can create such a sophisticated plan, and on this scale, the temple master suddenly remembered something important and wondered, that's right, Li Changsheng. How did he find out about this earth-shattering conspiracy? Li Changxi, with an unusually calm expression, replied, Li Changsheng accidentally overheard the delirious words of that illegitimate son while he was fast asleep. The entire hall immediately fell silent. All eyes turned to her in surprise. No one expected that a seemingly complicated matter would stem from such a simple, unexpected reason. She continued, confidently sketching out a perfect scenario in her mind. So in my judgment, Li Changsheng is probably not a true immortal, a great power reincarnated from the upper realm, as we had mistakenly thought. Most likely, he accidentally ruined a conspiracy that old Demon Yu had painstakingly arranged, and the opportunity that old Demon Yu created for his illegitimate son was unexpectedly snatched away by Li Changsheng, the temple master of the Xuandu Temple. With a deep and solemn voice, reminded the entire sect, whether Li Changsheng is a reincarnated true immortal or just someone who accidentally thwarted a great conspiracy for our Xuandu Temple, this is a very precious seed of merit that we must wholeheartedly support and nurture. If he is not the reincarnation of a true immortal, then we must put even more effort into nurturing and developing his potential even more. The fourth lineage master, an old man, nodded in agreement with the temple master's point of view. The temple master speaks wisely. A reincarnated true immortal will naturally have his own background and destiny. But if Li Changsheng is truly a blank slate, untainted by worldly affairs, then that is even better. Li Changxi continued, every word she spoke carrying a deep meaning. If Li Changsheng is a blank slate, he will naturally have a deeper connection and greater loyalty to our Xuandu Temple. Moreover, the Xuandu Temple is after all the righteous path representing justice. Li Changsheng, though still young, has accidentally become a mortal enemy of the heavenly demon sect's leader. If the Xuandu Temple cannot protect a disciple like Li Changsheng, then what right do we have to talk about slaying demons and protecting the innocent? Just then the temple master smiled and spoke, breaking the tense atmosphere. I think Li Changsheng has great potential to become my disciple, but his joy was short-lived, snuffed out in an instant. Li Changxi's expression immediately darkened, and she replied decisively no. She held her head high and said confidently, Temple Master, I have already promised Li Changsheng. He has made a great contribution in exposing the spy of the heavenly demon sect. As long as he passes the inner sect disciple examination, this Li Changxi will definitely take him as my disciple. But the temple master still did not want to accept this reality. He firmly objected, absolutely not. Li Changxi seemed to have read the worry in everyone's hearts. She asked directly, Temple Master, you and the others, are you thinking that I cannot be a good master? Now the temple master felt extremely awkward. He thought to himself, how can I say this to both save face for her and avoid a death sentence for the boy? While he was still hesitating, not knowing how to begin, the third lineage master could no longer hold back. He bluntly criticized, you've already taken 8 disciples, but all 8 of them died young. Li Changsheng is a good kid. Please give him a chance to live. Li Changxi was completely unfazed by those words. She replied nonchalantly, the world is but a great dream. So why bother so much with matters of life and death? The beauty of life lies not in the long years, but in the breadth and depth of experience. A disciple studying under my guidance for 15 years is better than 100 years lived with ordinary people. Moreover, cultivation is inherently a matter of defying heaven. Life and death are natural. The 8 previous disciples lacked the strength to break through the illusion of life and death. She frowned slightly, her tone changing, as if she had sensed a difference in Li Changsheng. But Li Changsheng is different. At this moment, Li Changxi's eyes were full of confidence. In the qi refining stage, to be able to condense the lotus of merit, I'm very optimistic about him. He can inherit my legacy and shatter the illusion even ascend to become a true immortal. When the temple master heard that, a great sense of dread arose in his heart. He thought to himself, this is bad. She actually thinks she's still alive today, thanks to her own strength. Looks like she forgot to take her medicine again today, so she's gone mad. Li Changxi seemed to notice his suspicious gaze. She retorted angrily, a mere body integration cultivator like you wants to destroy my Tao heart. This humble one is perfectly normal. It's you who is sick, lost in an illusion without even knowing it. Then she waved her hand, not wanting to argue with them anymore. Forget it. A summer insect. Cannot know of ice, a cicada. Cannot understand the spring and autumn. There are some things that even if I told you, you would never be able to comprehend. In short, this seed of merit Li Changsheng, only I can teach him. Letting you lot have him would be a waste of good jade. Just as the atmosphere became extremely tense, the temple master opened his mouth, breaking the oppressive silence. Well then, let Li Changsheng choose for himself. At the same time, Li Changsheng was elsewhere, his mind in a state of utter panic. Damn it, my cultivation is about to go out of control. I'm about to break through to Foundation Establishment. The other disciples, witnessing this scene, were all extremely surprised, buzzing with excitement. Oh my God, someone's about to reach Foundation Establishment. Unbelievable. Everyone's surprise had its reasons. Qi refining is the first gate, used to separate beings without the talent for immortal cultivation. As for Foundation Establishment, it is the second threshold of the path of immortal cultivation, and also the threshold that is most important in determining the true talent of an immortal cultivator. In the early stages, Foundation Establishment will filter out the beings with true talent for immortal cultivation, but only a few. The elimination rate at this stage is usually 1 out of 10 who succeed. The most important thing is that ever since the Foundation Establishment pill was created, Foundation Establishment has become much easier, pushing the success rate up to 8 out of 10. He was extremely worried about his own situation. But I'm an undercover agent. If I stand out too much like this, will it be a good thing? Li Changsheng stared intently at his palm, then suddenly broke into a demonic smile. After that, a huge pagoda suddenly appeared, emitting a dazzling light that filled the entire space. He thought to himself in frustration, undercover agent what? Undercover agent. I am the #1 inner sect disciple of the Xuandu Temple. I am the brightest candidate for the future temple master of the Xuandu Temple, a radiant star of hope for the righteous path of the immortal sects. So what the hell do I have to be afraid of? Li Changsheng thought to himself. He analyzed the situation clearly. Moreover, with a rare seed of merit like me, no matter how much I want to hide and be humble, my superior strength won't allow me to do so. An old memory suddenly flooded back, bringing back the bitterness of the past. He remembered his time in the heavenly demon sect. At that time, I tried to live as low-key as possible, avoiding all attention. And because of that, I was sent by a rotten outer sect elder to the Xuandu Temple to die. No one in the highest echelons of the heavenly demon sect was willing to step forward and protect me. The image of the outer sect elder from that year, with his ferocious face, was clearly imprinted in his mind. You little brat. Congratulations on being chosen as a high-level undercover agent. Tomorrow at the right time, infiltrate the Xuandu Temple, along with the other undercover agents. He learned a hard lesson from his past mistakes. Li Changsheng silently calculated a new strategy. From now on, I must become an outstanding, untouchable genius. In the eyes of the leaders of the Xuandu Temple, he felt satisfied, not just because of this decision, but also because of many other factors. After Foundation Establishment, the blood key in my body suddenly exploded, increasing unbelievably, making my physique 10 times stronger than before. It seems that the pure chi of merit and the overflowing chi of bloodlust can coexist and even be cultivated simultaneously. From above, the temple master looked down, his sharp eagle-like eyes analyzing. Li Changsheng's merit has directly brought him to the mid-stage, Foundation Establishment peak. Moreover, his physique also surpasses that of other ordinary cultivators. But strangely, why is there still such a heavy blood key within Li Changsheng? Li Changxi, standing beside him, calmly explained, after discovering that the fallen soldier was a spy for the heavenly demon sect. Ordinary people tend to avoid trouble, to avoid getting hurt. But Li Changsheng decisively reported the situation to me. This shows that this kid is very decisive in his killing, and is not an ordinary cultivator, with kindness but lacking the necessary means. Based on his strong personality, it's very likely that he has slain demons in the past. So it's not surprising that he has a little bloodlust in him. That's nothing to be surprised about. After hearing the explanation, the temple master nodded in agreement. As he performed the technique, he spoke with a majestic voice. Makes sense. If Li Changsheng has made a great contribution in exposing the illegitimate son of the heavenly demon sect's leader, and at the same time has shown outstanding talent, and has the recommendation of lineage master Li. As soon as he finished speaking, he flicked his hand. A powerful stream of spiritual energy was transferred to Li Changsheng, helping him reduce the surging bloodlust in his body. Immediately after, Li Changsheng descended from mid-air and landed firmly on the ground. The second lineage master glanced at him, his tone a mix of sternness and a reminder. This is the temple master, and also the lineage master of the 8 lineages of our Xuandu temple. Why haven't you paid your respects yet? Li Changsheng immediately raised both hands and bowed formally. Greetings, temple master and lineage masters. The temple master laughed and reminded him in a friendly manner. Li Changsheng, no need to be so formal. I heard from lineage master Li that you once exposed a spy from the heavenly demon sect. Is that right? Do you know what that spy's identity was? After hearing this, Li Changsheng looked bewildered and answered honestly. A spy from the heavenly demon sect. What other identity could he have? He must have been just an ordinary disciple of the heavenly demon sect. Right, sir. The temple master explained gently, his tone laced with a hint of teasing. Unfortunately, or perhaps you could say your luck is too good, to have met such a special undercover agent. The person you reported is the illegitimate son of old Demon Yu. Li Changsheng asked confusedly, who is old Demon Yu? The temple master patted his shoulder and exclaimed, I almost forgot. You're just an ordinary kid from a humble background. It's only natural if you don't know. Then he revealed the other party's shocking identity. Old Demon Yu is the leader of the heavenly demon sect. He is a demon, the most powerful demon in the world, majestic and extremely cruel, striking fear into the hearts of everyone in the world. Li Changsheng never expected that things would take a turn. That was unimaginable. He screamed in his heart. I randomly reported a spy, and his background is that big. He felt extremely confused. Is the heavenly demon sect's leader crazy? Who would bring their child to the Xuandu temple and let him dance on the graves of the righteous path like that? So from the very beginning, I have become a mortal enemy of the strongest demon in the world. The temple master, seeing Li Changsheng's extreme worry, reassured him. You don't have to worry too much. If you have already entered the Xuandu temple, then the Xuandu temple will naturally protect you. He had absolute confidence in the Xuandu temple's strength, although old Demon Yu is very strong. But he can't do anything to our Xuandu temple. The one the Xuandu temple wants to protect, no one can touch. After hearing this, Li Changsheng was lost in thought. There's only 1,000 days of being a thief, but there's no 1,000 days of guarding against one. After a moment of thought, Li Changsheng spoke with a rational tone. If the leader of the heavenly demon sect really wants to kill me, then he will have many ways to do it. Not necessarily in a straightforward manner. The temple master continued to reassure him. Don't worry, the cultivation world has its own rules. With old Demon Yu's status and identity, he is not allowed to personally make a move on a disciple of a lower level like you. Otherwise, our Xuandu temple will surely take equivalent revenge, or even tenfold. Li Changsheng, you have now officially entered the inner sect of the Xuandu temple. If any demonic sect expert dares to bully the weak and even touches a single hair on your head, then the Xuandu temple will annihilate all their true disciples. No one will be spared. He joyfully and immediately saluted, thank you, temple master, for your protection. No one knew that deep down Li Changsheng was silently sneering at this idea. So naive. Faced with such a deep-seated hatred, to still expect old Demon Yu to follow the rules was no different than the behavior of an ostrich burying its head in the sand. Li Changshi's words once again drew his attention. The matter of you reporting the fallen soldier has not been leaked yet, so old Demon Yu probably doesn't know, he said with certainty to Li Changsheng. That's right. I will make everyone who knows about this swear an oath to the heavenly Tao that they will not spread this matter. Rest assured, since you are a disciple of the Xuandu temple, the Xuandu temple will naturally protect you. In a moment of relieved tension, Li Changsheng could not hide his emotional expression. He spoke solemnly, his voice full of gratitude. Thank you, Your Highness, the Temple Master. Thank you, Lineage Master Li. At this moment, the majestic Temple Master of the Xuandu Temple, with deep eyes, went straight to the core of the matter. All right, Li Changsheng, this time I summoned you here. For you to choose your own master, your outstanding talent and profound merit, we have all seen and are very satisfied with. I want to take you as my disciple. Are you willing to follow me? Li Changsheng listened in his heart, quickly weighing each word. He thought to himself, the Temple Master of the Xuandu Temple is obviously the most powerful figure, the most solid support. This is truly a big thigh that cannot be missed. But the threat from that old bastard Yu still haunts me, like a real pain in the ass. Although the Temple Master promised to make everyone who knows about this swear an oath to the heavenly Tao, the truth is, I still can't be completely at ease. But with rare determination, Li Changsheng decided to probe further. He raised his head, his determined gaze fixed on the Temple Master, and asked decisively, Disciple takes the liberty to be bold. I ask for the Temple Master's guidance. Between you and old Demon Yu, who is stronger? This abrupt question immediately caused the Temple Master's expression to darken. He remained silent, not uttering a word. The atmosphere in the hall suddenly became suffocating and heavy. Without hesitation, Li Changsheng skillfully shifted his gaze. He turned to the remaining sect masters, his eyes filled with inquiry. What about the other sect masters? Li Changxi, one of the sect masters, lifted her lips slightly to explain in detail for him. Old Demon Yu is the leader of the demon world, the strongest demon lord in this world. Even in our Xuandu temple, there is only one person who can surpass him. That person is none other than Fairy Linglong, the #1 person of our time, recognized by the entire cultivation world. It's just a pity that, currently Fairy Linglong is concentrating all her efforts on transcending her tribulation and ascending, so she definitely won't be able to take you as a disciple. Speaking of which, she winked and added with a meaningful smile, but Fairy Linglong is my mother. Immediately, without a moment's hesitation, Li Changsheng dropped to his knees like a flash, bowing low in the grand ceremony of accepting a master. He shouted, "Greetings, master!" In that instant, Li Changsheng quickly calculated in his head. He told himself, May Li Changsheng accepting a master has absolutely nothing to do with that #1 in the world. Fairy Linglong, okay? It's mainly because I think Li Changxi seems kind. Although in his heart, the image of Fairy Linglong's powerful backing was still vivid in his mind. Seeing Li Changsheng choose her, Li Changxi couldn't help but look pleased. She smiled and said, "Not a bad eye at all. You could tell at a glance that I am the best master for you. Let's go. In our lineage, when accepting disciples, I value quality, not quantity. This time I am only accepting you alone. Although you enter as an inner sect disciple, you will receive the treatment of a direct disciple." Li Changsheng immediately complied once more, adding many thanks for master's favor. Li Changxi giggled, gently waving her hand, effortlessly casting a martial technique. "You and I are now master and disciple. There's no need for such formalities." But as Li Changxi and Li Changsheng left, the temple master could only shake his head and sigh. He mumbled with a helpless expression. This is truly absurd. Just now, when Changxi was next to Li Changsheng, she secretly set up a barrier to soundproof and recruit a disciple for the Jiaoguang lineage. And yet she brazenly started cheating, tricking a second sect master who seemed used to Li Changxi's tricks, not finding it strange. This is also a common occurrence. If not for that scam, Changxi's Jiaoguang lineage hasn't had a single disciple in 3 years. She can't even find an errand boy, is a different matter. He sighed, his tone weary. I don't object to Changxi taking a disciple, but entrusting Li Changsheng to her is a great pity. Moreover, senior sister Linglong is her mother-in-law, not her birth mother, and Changxi's Taoist companion has been dead for a long time. The temple master, with his vast experience, saw through Li Changsheng's heart. This Changsheng clearly wants to latch onto senior sister Linglong's powerful backing, but based on his handsome looks and talent, having to live every day next to the widowed daughter-in-law of senior sister Linglong, Changxi is indirectly getting away with murder. He emphasized the crucial point, so be it. But the more serious problem is that Changxi's cultivation method is too unreliable. The temple master continued to express his deep concern. She may have succeeded on her own, but all 8 disciples she took before had their cultivation crippled by her. I'm really worried that Li Changsheng will be the next to suffer the same fate. The 4th sect master spoke up, his voice resigned. It's too late to say these things now. Li Changsheng has performed the master-disciple ceremony himself. That was his own choice. We have no reason to stop him. He sighed. He could only say, let's hope Li Changsheng will be lucky. Yes, but a female sect master had a completely different thought from the others. She said nonchalantly, you guys are worried about Li Changsheng, but me, I'm more worried about Changxi. The 2nd sect master suddenly became curious. He glanced at the 2 figures who had just disappeared. I wonder if she took all her medicine today. Meanwhile, Li Changxi and Li Changsheng had gone deep into the lineage's territory under her management. As he walked, Li Changsheng was constantly calculating in his head. In both of my lives, no matter which world it is, circumstance is always more important than ability, in 99% of cases. Before my strength can match old Demon Yu's, Li Changxi's powerful backing is my most important, life-saving talisman. I must maintain a very good relationship with Li Changxi. Li Changsheng secretly devised a bolder plan. If I can get even closer, that would be for the best. Getting an adoptive father seems a bit difficult, but if I find an adoptive mother, I won't feel any pressure in my heart. Fairy Linglong is Li Changxi's mother, so if I marry Li Changxi, won't Fairy Linglong become my mother? He stroked his chin, lost in thought. But how do I win over this beautiful master? Or should I learn from the methods in the novel, The Return of the Condor, Heroes? Just as he was lost in his calculations and schemes, Li Changxi suddenly spoke, breaking his train of thought. We're here. Li Changsheng looked up at the scene before him and couldn't help but let out a cry of surprise. He was utterly astonished when he saw Li Changxi casually create a sparkling spatial window right in front of him. Then, a strong suction force suddenly pulled at Li Changsheng's body, sucking him into that portal. Without any way to resist, he stood there stunned, following her figure as she led him into a completely different space. The scene that appeared before him was covered in layers of mystical clouds, creating a surreal and breathtaking beauty. The grandeur and magnificence of this place left Li Changsheng so stunned that he exclaimed, Master, where on earth is this? But Li Changxi remained calm, her deep eyes hiding a faint smile as she asked back, "Take a look. What does this place look like?" He honestly voiced his guess, "Like the Moon Palace." The corners of her lips curved up and she chuckled. A teachable child. "This is indeed the Moon Palace. It is also my residence. Of course, in the future it will also be your residence." When Li Changsheng heard this, an indescribable joy welled up in his heart. He couldn't help but clench his fists, his eyes sparkling like stars. "That's awesome. So this will be our bridal chamber in the future. The true Moon Palace resides in the immortal realm. This place is just an illusory realm. However, the Jiaoguang illusory realm of our Jiaoguang lineage, we can turn it into anything you desire in your mind. I am very fond of the Moon Palace, so I used illusion techniques to turn this place into the Moon Palace of my dreams. Our Jiaoguang lineage are masters of illusion, unrivaled in the world. When you reach my level of cultivation, even turning illusion into reality is no longer a fantasy. So, you can consider this the true Moon Palace." He immediately praised, his eyes full of admiration. "Master is mighty." She looked at Li Changsheng and explained further. "I really like this style, but if you have other preferences, you are completely free to create another residence for yourself. Later, I will grant you some permissions in the illusory realm, so you can use and create as you please." He replied respectfully, his face showing clear satisfaction. "Thank you, Master. I also really like this style. It seems my aesthetic tastes are very compatible with yours." Li Changxi highly appreciated Li Changsheng's discernment. "Not bad at all. You really have a keen eye. Among the 8 lineages of Xuandu, our Jiaoguang is number 1. In the future, you must absolutely not tarnish the reputation of our Jiaoguang lineage." He quickly affirmed, his tone firm. "Master, rest assured, disciple. Will cultivate diligently and bring glory to you and the Jiaoguang lineage." She was very pleased and nodded in approval. "Very good. You are worthy of being the only disciple I have recruited in the past 3 years." Hearing this, Li Changsheng couldn't help but exclaim in his heart, "I can't believe that Master hasn't taken any disciples in 3 years, and yet she made an exception for me. It's settled. After I marry Master, I will definitely dedicate my life to her, until death." To his astonished eyes, Li Changxi suddenly used a magic technique. Her small body gracefully twisted and turned in the air, creating a soft and beautiful dance, like a fairy descending to the mortal world. She spun gracefully, then slowly descended and sat in the highest seat of honor. Li Changsheng stared blankly at her, sitting gracefully in the highest position, and couldn't help but feel a question rising in his heart. "Master," he called softly, "for tens of thousands of years, have you lived alone in this vast and cold palace?" Li Changsheng suddenly felt pity for Li Changxi's fate. The silent moonlight shone on her, a cup of loneliness, in the endless space, separated from the bustling world. This loneliness and emptiness made anyone want to run up and hug her, to comfort her from her endless solitude. Just then, she suddenly called Li Changsheng's name, interrupting his train of thought. "How much of your past life's memories do you still remember?" He felt as if he had been struck by lightning, his whole body frozen by Li Changxi's unexpected question. She pointed out bluntly, her gaze firm, "Stop pretending. I know you're not from this world, but you don't have to be afraid, because neither am I." Li Changsheng's eyes widened, unable to believe that Li Changxi herself had admitted this earth-shattering truth so calmly. She continued to speak, her tone still calm and composed. "You can fool the Temple Master and the others, but you can't fool me, because we are the same kind of people. Let's get formally acquainted. I am the Taiyan Star Lord, and what divine being are you from the immortal realm, fellow Taoist?" At this moment he began to worry and think, "No way. Is this beautiful master of mine actually sick in the head?" Li Changsheng awkwardly introduced his identity. "I am the South Pole Emperor of Longevity." After hearing this, Li Changxi's eyes showed a look of admiration. "No wonder the first time we met. I had a feeling that we'd met before. So, fellow Taoist, you are one of the 6 sovereigns, the Jade Pure True King. Fellow Taoist, you truly keep your word. You said that you and I would be reunited in reincarnation, so this is that moment." He helplessly held his face in his hands, screaming internally, "It's over!" This beautiful master's brain really does have a few screws loose. Li Changsheng analyzed the current situation. "I was originally worried that Li Changxi was also a transmigrator like me, but after hearing what she said, I wish more than ever that Li Changxi was a transmigrator. More than ever." He was still immersed in his own chaotic thoughts. Because if Li Changxi is not a transmigrator, and combined with her words and actions, just now, then basically a bold conclusion can be drawn. Li Changsheng sighed heavily, coming to a painful conclusion. "That is, Li Changxi is insane. I thought I had just latched onto a powerful backer, but now it seems I've latched onto a mental patient. Although this mental patient's strength and status are real," he thought to himself, "but if your brain doesn't work right, it's really hard to make people feel safe." Li Changxi suddenly summoned another chair, placing it right next to her own seat, and suggested, "If you fellow Taoist are one of the 6 sovereigns, Then you are naturally qualified to discuss the Tao with me. Please sit. Li Changsheng was silent, his face showing an awkward and flustered expression. When she said that, a flash of light went through his mind as he thought, if I'm not mistaken, according to ancient legends, the South Pole Emperor of Longevity, who is also revered in the 9 heavens as the Jade Pure True King, descended and incarnated as the heavenly sovereign of primordial thunder and universal transformation. Hua Tianton, he resides in the Jade Spring Mansion, holding the authority over the entire Thunder Department, considered the progenitor of thunder, and also the ultimate source of all thunder gods. Amidst his thoughts, Li Changxi broke the silence with a concerned question. The true spirit of fellow Taoist, when did it awaken? Li Changsheng quickly made up a timeline, without hesitation. About a year ago. It's just that I never expected that. Even the Taiyin Star Lord has restored her true spirit. In response, Li Changxi continued to ramble on with her usual confidence. I am the master of the Taiyin Star in ancient times. I was once hailed as one of those great powers, on par with the Eastern Emperor, Demon Emperor. What we are facing is nothing more than a small illusion. Even if it was created by a saint, how could it possibly make me fall into depravity? He gently rubbed his forehead, silently concluding, this madwoman has a pretty complete and tight worldview, huh? Luckily, I wasn't just a commoner in my past life. I was a premium VIP reader of the prestigious Kitty and Web novels, so in terms of lore and knowledge, I'm definitely not inferior to someone with a few screws loose. After a month of contemplation, Li Changsheng decided to speak, his tone full of agreement. What the Star Lord says is indeed correct. Although the saints are incredibly powerful, we are also lords in the immortal realm. Even if we can't directly break this illusion, keeping ourselves sane is not too difficult a task. But she immediately refuted, her eyes firm. True King, you are wrong in saying that. Maintaining sanity is not difficult for you and me, but the other beings in this world, they do not have our strong foundation. They are all completely lost in the illusion, without even knowing it. Li Changxi sighed sadly. How pathetic and pitiful. She didn't know that he was saying to himself, you're strong, so whatever you say is right. Then Li Changsheng asked curiously, then why did the Star Lord fall into this illusion? Li Changxi smiled and began to explain. This story is a very long one. It relates to the change of an era. The hegemon has changed. I am the monarch of the old era, and the new era does not have a boat big enough to carry me. Hearing those words, he told himself, I must hold back and not make any sarcastic remarks. Although she appears very confident, she is indeed not an ordinary person. She still very calmly continued to speak. Actually, the True King and I have a very close relationship. It's just that my memory hasn't fully recovered. Otherwise, I wouldn't have to explain in such detail. Just then, he realized a huge hole in his story. Oh crap, I made up a story based on Li Changxi's words. If not, there would be a big loophole. Being in sync with this powerful backer is the only way. So Li Changsheng had no other choice but to admit that what the Star Lord said was absolutely correct. My memory also hasn't fully recovered. He relied on the information he already knew, skillfully recounting, the Star Lord rules the Taiyin Star, and the Taiyin Star illuminates all the heavens. At the same time, it is the Star Lord on par with the Taiyang Star. Li Changsheng arranged everything logically, leaving no loopholes. The Star Lord, as the monarch of the old era, holds such great power. Naturally, it will make the hegemon of the new era feel uneasy. Li Changxi completely agreed with his opinion. The True King's words are reasonable. My excessive power is also one of the reasons. The Star Lord and I are truly in the same boat. The True King, as one of the 6 sovereigns of the Heavenly Court, is nominally on par with Heoshan. Li Changsheng's expression suddenly changed slightly. He thought to himself, is she talking about the Heoshan Supreme Emperor? While she was still talking, but the pie of power is too small. People like Heoshan and Ziwei who cling to power will surely never tolerate the True King. He quickly chimed in. Li Changxi said, the Star Lord is indeed very intelligent. And what she said is absolutely correct. But in his heart, Li Changsheng was silently judging. The more she talks, the more ridiculous she becomes. But I can't refute it. Oh well, I'll just go along with what she says. Only then can I hold on to this powerful backer. He continued his act. After the investiture of the Gods' War, I ascended the throne. The South Pole Emperor of Longevity, in charge of the cycle of life and death, often punishing good and evil, controlling the clouds and rain, slaying demons, subduing evil, and commanding thunder. Li Changsheng looked annoyed, saying, above I illuminate the great Tao of the heavenly heart. Below I save the suffering masses of the underworld. With so much power, I have enemies everywhere. This time, falling into the illusion, it's really embarrassing to say. I still don't know who my opponent is. From the information she had, she quickly deduced, Heoshan's strength was initially not equal to yours and mine. But after he entered the heavenly court, with the blessing of luck, his strength at most is only slightly higher than yours and mine. But he absolutely cannot make us fall into an illusion, without any resistance. I suspect it's the Western sects, Saint Kundi, who has secretly allied with Heoshan. Li Changxi could conclude that, so we have fallen into the dream world of Saint Kundi. In addition, our opponent may be more than one person. He was very satisfied. Very good. This madman's worldview is truly complete. The logic is tight and there are no loopholes. Li Changsheng, with a serious expression, spoke with Li Changxi. If it really is Saint Kundi's doing, breaking this illusion will not be easy at all. Li Changxi replied calmly, her tone firm with a hint of reassurance. True king, you don't need to worry too much. The investiture of the gods' war of the past shattered the myth of the immortality of the saints. Saints can be poisoned and die, or even killed. The fact that the Eastern Emperor Tai Yi and the 12 ancestral witches were defeated before only proves that their strength was not enough. When she said this, a terrifying determination flashed in her eyes. I want to try, to defy the saints and take their place. He looked at her and could only force a smile. He thought to himself, good for this one. The crazier you are, the bigger you dream. A transmigrator like me. I'm truly ashamed of myself. Li Changsheng was extremely humble. He clasped his hands and said, Star-Lord is ambitious. I can't keep up. In a group of 3, there must be a teacher. I hope the Star-Lord will teach me more. Li Changxi seemed stimulated, saying excitedly, the true king is not bad at all. You recognized the danger early on and proactively befriended me in advance and prepared many things. Now that you and I are reunited here, breaking this illusion is just around the corner. Hearing this, he couldn't help but speculate. Could it be that she was aware of the danger long ago and had already prepared in advance? Why does Li Changxi's tone sound more and more like her? After thinking for a moment, Li Changsheng asked bluntly without hiding anything. I wanted to ask the Star-Lord about this. How do we break this illusion? She replied without any concealment. This is not difficult, because ascending to immortality is a rule set by the heavenly Tao. As long as you ascend to immortality in the illusion, you can escape this illusion and return to the immortal realm. After a while of talking, Li Changxi proactively suggested, her eyes somewhat mischievous. The true king is a heavenly emperor. Although you attained the Tao after me, you and I are both Grand Luos. So I can't just insult the true king without reason. How about this? I'll report to the temple master. From now on, the true king will call me senior sister. I'll take a disciple on behalf of our master. That way your status and mine will be the same. What do you think? He went along with it and smiled. Then let's do as senior sister says. This is not important. Next, Li Changsheng clasped his hands and said sincerely, then thank you, Star-Lord, for your favor. Just then, Duanhong Diep the rabbit demon ran in from somewhere, her mouth screaming, Oh no. Oh no, master, have you not taken your medicine today? She immediately explained to Li Changsheng, her tone somewhat helpless. This is a rabbit demon that I have enlightened. She will take care of some miscellaneous matters in the Moon Palace. For me, you can call her Rabbit Butler. It's just a pity that her spiritual intelligence is far inferior to the Jade Rabbit in the Guanghan Palace. She still can't see through the illusion. I've made a fool of myself in front of the true king. He smiled and replied, his eyes distant. It's all right. Those who understand me will say my heart is heavy. Those who don't understand me will ask what I am seeking. But these words made Li Changxi see Li Changsheng in a new light. She nodded slightly, a rare look of admiration in her eyes. True king, you are indeed a true king. Looking across the world, only when discussing the Tao with you. Can I truly speak my mind? Without holding back. And Duan Hong Deep, after bringing out the medicine bottle, kept urging, Master, please, take your medicine quickly. This is what Fairy Linglong instructed. She picked up the medicine bottle, her face showing annoyance. It's just an illusion. I can't take it anymore. I'll just have to humor them. Great true king, don't think I'm actually sick, okay? He played along with Li Changxi and nodded reassuringly. Of course, she had no other choice but to swallow the pill the rabbit demon had given her. After taking the medicine, she did a 180 and asked, What are you sitting here for? Seeing his somewhat awkward reaction, she chuckled. I'm kidding, don't worry, true king. I'm not sick. If we join forces, breaking this illusion is only a matter of time. Duanhong Deep, watching from behind, silently judged. This is bad. The master's illness is getting worse. Half a shiken later, outside the rabbit demon's palace, Duanhong Deep led Li Changsheng. I'll take you to your residence. He replied gratefully, Thank you, rabbit butler. Li Changsheng remembered not long ago, Li Changxi had passed on to him the golden core inheritance of the Jiaoguang lineage. Then he looked at this card in his hand and thought, she also gave me a black card, saying it's the Moon Palace's access token. I can use this card to enter the Moon Palace and activate the Moon Palace's illusion to cultivate. Rabbit butler, your master. It turned its head and explained in detail her cultivation has run into a problem. The Jiaoguang lineage's illusion techniques are unrivaled in the world, and the master's talent for cultivating illusion techniques is also called the best in the world. But because her illusion techniques far surpass her current realm, it has made her believe that the whole world is just an illusion, and she is the only one who sees the truth. After hearing this, he couldn't help but exclaim, This is also hard to say. Li Changsheng suddenly had another question. So the treatment isn't going well. It continued to explain, its tone somewhat helpless. We're always treating it. But the master's cultivation is getting higher and higher, and her illness is getting more and more serious. He asked, his eyes showing concern. Is there any way to help, master? The rabbit demon looked awkward and hesitantly made a strange suggestion. If one day you can find a woman more beautiful than the master, then bring her to see the master. Maybe that can also cure her. Li Changsheng still had a pile of unanswered questions. He asked, why would that be the case? The rabbit demon sighed with a troubled expression and explained, the reason my master believes she is the Tai Yin Star-Lord is because in her perception, there has never been any woman with beauty superior to hers. That makes her completely confident that she is the #1 beauty of the immortal realm, unmatched by anyone. Just then, the rabbit demon suddenly remembered something and asked Li Changsheng back. Oh, right. Why does the master call you true king? Li Changsheng didn't hide anything, replying, I am the reincarnation of the South Pole Emperor of Longevity, and I am also known by the title of Jade Pure True Monarch. The rabbit demon seemed to have read Li Changsheng's thoughts, smiled and said, the master is a madwoman cleverly pretending to be normal, while you are a normal person, trying to pretend to be mad. No wonder you were taken as a disciple by the master. With your ability to adapt and quick wit, perhaps you will live longer than the 8 unlucky seniors before you. Hearing these words, Li Changsheng couldn't help but be shocked and panicked. Live longer than the 8 unlucky ones before. What do you mean? The rabbit demon explained bluntly. Did you think you were the first inner sect disciple of the Jiaoguang lineage? Li Changsheng immediately denied it. Of course not. Getting the desired answer. The rabbit demon continued. But right now, you are indeed the only disciple of the Jiaoguang lineage. I am not a disciple. I'm just a pet and a butler. Li Changsheng suddenly realized something was wrong. A chill ran down his spine. What the rabbit steward means is that the disciples who joined the sect before me are all dead. He couldn't believe this harsh truth. Just as the words he had just spoken, the rabbit demon confirmed with a serious expression. That's right. Li Changsheng's curiosity grew even stronger. He pressed, how did they die? The rabbit demon pointed out the key point. The master's cultivation method is too dangerous. She often takes her disciples to challenge all sorts of great demon lords, terrifying in the demon world. The result is that all the disciples died. But even though she was alone, she never flinched and continued to fight. Speaking of which, the rabbit demon sighed deeply. This method of cultivation is only suitable for rare super geniuses like her. As for ordinary geniuses, if they try to practice it, death is certain. Moreover, this master has mental problems. She often takes her disciples to do extremely dangerous things. Li Changsheng silently evaluated the information he had just received. And dangerous things, too. Isn't leading disciples to challenge all sorts of demon lords dangerous enough? While he was still thinking, the rabbit demon spoke innocently. Li Changsheng, good luck, and I hope you live past 30. Li Changsheng seriously asked about Li Changshi's condition. Rabbit steward, if the master's illness continues to worsen, what will happen? The rabbit demon frowned, his voice full of worry. If the master's condition worsens, that means her cultivation will become deeper and reach a higher level. More. After the master's cultivation becomes unparalleled in the world, she will become a completely normal person, in her own way. And at that time, we will be the crazy ones in her eyes. The rabbit demon spoke of the final outcome with a terrified expression. This world will be completely transformed by her, from real to fake. Everything she says will become reality. He remained calm, pensive. Based on the previous coordination between Li Changshi and myself, it seems this future is also acceptable. Meanwhile, the rabbit demon clutched his head and lamented, it's too scary. Li Changsheng suddenly felt a strange excitement. After all, I am the great emperor of longevity of the South Pole. Right. This was personally confirmed by the Supreme Yin Star Lord. After all, it seems, it's not necessary to cure Li Changshi's illness. Perhaps helping Li Changshi increase her cultivation is not a bad option. After a while of moving, the rabbit demon led him to a room and announced, we're here. The master has given you full authority here. It pointed inside and said you can transform this palace into anything you want, and you can also start activating the illusionary training. Moreover, without your permission, even the master and I cannot enter this palace, and there's no way to know what's happening inside. Li Changsheng looked at the scene inside the room and remarked to himself, an ordinary master would hardly be so generous to a new inner sect disciple. Is this the advantage of having a mentally ill person? However, he still followed protocol and exclaimed, thank you, master, for your gift. Thank you, rabbit steward, for your guidance. The rabbit demon carefully reminded him about the matter of cultivation. You can consult the masters of the other branches, or the senior brothers from the other branches, but you must never listen to the master, because I don't want the past to repeat itself. I don't want to have to build another grave at the Moon Palace. Li Changsheng couldn't believe it. What is this? Are there really graves here? Then he was stunned when the rabbit demon suddenly disappeared. Rabbit steward. Then Li Changsheng seemed to realize something was wrong and turned his head. He was stunned to see smoke filling the entire room, a thick, hazy smoke. Why is there suddenly smoke like this? This doesn't look good. It's better to close the door. When he was alone, he took out the black card that Li Changxi had given him. Li Changsheng looked at it, contemplating. According to Li Changxi, by refining this black card, he could open an illusionary realm to begin his cultivation. Suddenly, a strange purple dark energy emanated from the card, spreading throughout the space. A large gate on the city wall was slowly opening, revealing countless demonic beasts and a deafening roar inside, creating a very strange and terrifying scene. He stepped into the area filled with that hazy smoke. Li Changsheng asked in bewilderment, "What is this?" When he saw the ferocious demonic beasts baring their fangs and extending their claws right before his eyes, Li Changsheng couldn't help but exclaim a remark, somewhat skeptical. This illusionary realm seems unusually realistic. He quickly drew his sword, a clear plan already formed in his mind. I have reached the Qi refining realm. I can completely condense bloodlust energy into a sword. It's just that when I was still at the Xuandu Temple, I didn't dare to show off this kind of evil power. Feeling as if all his shackles had been removed, he stood tall, facing the horde of monsters ready for battle. But in this strange illusionary world, I naturally have nothing to fear anymore. With just one swing of his sword, a torrent of bloodlust energy exploded from Li Changsheng's body, engulfing the entire space in a gloomy red. He landed heavily on the ground, creating a terrifying pressure that made the ground tremble slightly. Li Changsheng felt the flow of bloodlust, energy in his body, growing stronger and stronger. A feeling of both satisfaction and unease. I can't let the bloodlust energy continue to increase, out of control. Otherwise, when I return to the Xuandu Temple, it will be difficult for me to control it. He glanced at the horde of demonic beasts swarming towards him like a tide. He quickly made a judgment in his mind. Damn it, there are too many demonic beasts. I'm surrounded on all sides. I'm afraid I can't hold back any longer. This place is a perfect holy land for cultivating demonic arts. Then I shall enjoy this massacre. Jumping off the ground, Li Changsheng swung his sword, slashing relentlessly at the demonic beasts. Unfortunately, this is just an illusionary realm. If there were this many monsters in the real world, I would probably become many times stronger. But it's a good thing this is just an illusionary realm. Otherwise, my identity as an undercover agent would be exposed. He thought to himself, a half-smile appearing on his lips. After all, whether it's demonic arts or orthodox arts, if it can be used for chivalry and justice, it's a good method. Besides, this is just a dream. An illusionary realm. Li Changsheng did not hesitate, unleashing countless ferocious attacks, wiping out wave after wave of demonic beasts. So, I must make full use of the resources of this illusionary realm, continue to cultivate. His only goal now was to constantly hone his combat and killing skills. Under the dim light of the bloodlust energy, he exploded with power, using his sword to completely slaughter the entire horde of demonic beasts. After 3 hours of intense fighting, Li Changsheng gently landed. The land was now completely stained a bright red with blood. To be able to cultivate a blood river phenomenon in the Qi refining stage, he glanced in surprise at the countless demonic beast corpses piled up around him. This proves that in this Qi refining stage, I have killed at least tens of thousands of living beings. Li Changsheng finished dealing with everything, silently calculating in his heart. If this weren't an illusionary realm, then this blood river phenomenon when I return to the Xuandu Temple would surely have to be sealed. The demonic beast tide has been completely wiped out. There's no point in staying in the illusionary realm any longer. Time to go back. A moment later, the bloody scene vanished, and he had safely returned to his familiar room. Li Changsheng breathed a sigh of relief when he saw the simple, familiar scene had returned. Suddenly, he noticed something unusual happening inside his body. A familiar dark energy, but now it seemed different, was enveloping his entire body. The bloodlust in my body is gradually dissipating. He was so surprised he couldn't believe it. Holy shit. The cultivation strength from the illusionary realm can be brought outside. Right after that, another discovery made him even more stunned. Wait, how did my merit increase so much? Can saving people in an illusionary realm also grant merit? He clenched his hand into a fist, his thoughts in turmoil. What the hell is this illusionary realm? This crazy Li Changxi? There's definitely something not right. Currently, the progress of his demonic arts cultivation had far surpassed that of the Xuandu Temple's orthodox cultivation method. I must quickly cultivate the Jiaoguang Luo illusion, the core cultivation method of the Jiaoguang branch that Li Changxi taught me. The next morning, while Li Changsheng was seriously cultivating in the courtyard, he thought to himself, the core cultivation method, Jiaoguang Luo illusion of the Jiaoguang branch, I've already mastered the basics. Suddenly, the token in Li Changsheng's hand emitted a familiar voice. Changsheng, come to the scripture hall quickly. That voice continued to echo throughout the space. An elder will be giving the first lecture for the inner sect disciples for us. Hearing this, he immediately recognized it as Li Daoyan's voice. Li Changsheng couldn't help but pout and silently criticize. This nephew of mine has no talent for cultivation at all. Yesterday in the Qi Guiding Grand Array, he couldn't even draw out a single bit of merit. And yet he got into the inner sect. I thought he would go back to the Li family. But as soon as Li Changsheng arrived, Li Daoyan immediately waved his hand and called out hissing, "Changsheng over here!" Li Changsheng suddenly became curious and asked directly, "Did you manage to draw in any merit yesterday?" Li Daoyan immediately denied it. "Not at all." He continued to press. "Then do you have a special physique or hidden spiritual root?" Li Daoyan shook his head, his voice seemingly resigned. "My cultivation talent. You already know it's terrible." Li Changsheng still couldn't understand and asked again, "Then how did you get into the inner sect?" He raised a finger, his face full of confidence, and asserted, "I'm not like you. You guys have to pass the official exam to enter the inner sect. But I am a special student and have a special area of expertise." He suddenly felt interested and spoke up. "What's your specialty?" Li Daoyan replied with great confidence. "My specialty is being born into the right family." After hearing this, Li Changsheng felt helpless and thought to himself, "That's right, Li Changxi is Li Daoyan's aunt." Apparently, Li Daoyan could have gone straight to the Xuandu temple, but he still insisted on coming with us to the exam. What a weirdo. However, he quickly noticed something unusual. He whispered to himself, his eyes full of confusion. "Why is everyone staring at us like that?" Li Daoyan, who was walking beside him, pointed at them, a smug smile on his face, and explained, "Perhaps it's because we are favored by Lin Fang. The female disciples see this and feel admiration, while the male disciples feel inferior to us." Suddenly, a clear giggling laugh rang out, attracting Li Changsheng's attention. Ying Hongye, the girl walking with them, quickly explained when she saw him looking at her. "Esteemed martial uncle, don't misunderstand. I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at that Li Daoyan guy." Li Changsheng asked in surprise, "You know me?" Ying Hongye quickly replied, "Of course. Martial uncle is the #1 in this year's inner sect disciple assessment. And this Li Daoyan is the inner sect disciple, ranked first from the bottom. So when you two walk together, of course you'll attract more attention." Hearing this, Li Daoyan immediately shouted angrily, "Ying Hongye, what do you mean by that?" Seeing the two of them bickering, Li Changsheng asked curiously, "Do you two know each other?" Ying Hongye confirmed, "He's from the Li family, and I'm from the Ying family. So of course we know each other. But we're not that close. My mother doesn't let me play with idiots." Just as the small argument was going on, a deep and majestic voice from inside the room rang out, "All of you come in." Li Daoyan, who was about to question Ying Hongye further, stopped short, pointing at her with a resentful expression. "You..." Having received the order, everyone filed inside one by one. As soon as he stepped into the room, Li Changsheng was extremely surprised by the scene before him. He thought in astonishment, "I didn't expect it to be a one-armed female cultivator." He found a place to sit, glancing at Ying Hongye beside him. Her words just now suddenly appeared in his mind. She and Li Daoyan knew each other from childhood. Perhaps they both came from great cultivation families. But moreover, the Li and Ying families in the world must be families with a glorious reputation. It's a pity he had never heard of them. But looking at the way they acted, it seemed they both wanted to be friends with him. Just then, Ying Hongye leaned close to Li Changsheng and whispered, "This scripture elder was once the previous branch master of the Yunhe branch. About 25 years ago, she encountered Elder Yu of the Heavenly Demon Sect. But because she couldn't defeat Elder Yu, that cruel demon lord chopped off one of her arms, unless she can break through to the true immortal realm. Otherwise, it can never be restored. After that, she resigned as the Yunhe branch master and became a scripture elder. Here she hates it the most when others see her injured arm. So, esteemed senior brother, you must be very careful." After hearing this, Li Changsheng pondered. The Yunhe branch is one of the 8 branches of Xuandu. This previous Yunhe branch master seems to be even older than Li Changxi, and she had an arm chopped off by Elder Yu. Elder Yu, the leader of the Heavenly Demon Sect. As expected of a great demon lord with the name Demon Flute Heavenly Tao, the scripture elder's sharp gaze, but still gentle, fell on Li Changsheng as she asked, "Are you Gui Changsheng?" He immediately raised his hands and bowed respectfully. "Disciple Gui Changsheng." The scripture elder smiled faintly, her tone gentle. "I heard. You are the top of the inner sect disciple assessment for this year. If you have any questions, you can ask me privately later. I will teach you." She generously gave Li Changsheng an exquisite jade token. "This is my token. With it you can freely travel between the scripture hall and Yanhe Peak." He said gratefully, "Thank you, elder." After he finished speaking, Li Changsheng thought to himself, perhaps the scripture elder already knows that I exposed Elder Yu's illegitimate son, so she's treating me so specially. Suddenly, a deep, steady voice came from the token that the scripture elder had just given him. "Kid, don't overthink it. Elder Yu and I have a blood feud to the point of a severed arm. I already know about your matter, but I have sworn before the heavens that I will not tell anyone about this." She turned to the other disciples and said in a serious tone, "Although Gui Sheng is ranked first in this inner sect assessment, but because he has joined the Jiaoguang branch, I'm afraid his life will not last long. It's very likely that next time, he won't be able to win the championship in the inner sect competition again. The Xuandu Temple doesn't have many disciples. I hope everyone can support each other. instead of being jealous of someone who is about to die. All the disciples replied in unison, "Disciple understands." Li Changsheng stood there, completely bewildered. After hearing the scripture elder's mysterious words, he wondered, what is this? Why won't I live long? After joining the Jiao Guang branch, and why next time? Will I not be able to win the championship in the assessment? For inner sect disciples, what do these words mean after all? Because he wanted to resolve his doubts, Li Changsheng gathered all his courage and spoke up boldly, asking, "Disciple dares to ask, what is the meaning of the elder's words?" She replied calmly, but her voice was tinged with regret. "Gui Changsheng, your talent is superior. I originally thought very highly of you. But unfortunately, you joined the Jiaoguang branch." The more the scripture elder spoke, the more frustrated and helpless she became. The Jiaoguang branch, everyone knows, is the disgrace of the Xuandu temple. If Li Changxi hadn't accepted more disciples, then the Jiao Guang branch would have been abolished from the Xuandu temple long ago. Amidst the solemn atmosphere, a deep male voice rang out firm and resolute. Master once taught that among the 8 branches of Xuandu, Jiaoguang is the absolute number 1. You must filter what your master says. She sometimes makes inaccurate judgments and is not entirely reliable. Following the scripture elder's words with a majestic demeanor, once you become an inner sect disciple of the Xuandu temple, cultivation is the top priority, the core of the path ahead. This also somewhat explains the decline of the Jiao Guang branch, because orthodox cultivation with a solid foundation is the most important factor. As the Book of Yingguo points out, a tall building rises from the ground, but each brick is a solid foundation. Li Changsheng, with a thoughtful expression, silently evaluated the words he had just heard. Yingguo, this is the first time I've heard of this country. I really need to quickly expand my understanding of this vast world. But while she was still engrossed in her lecture, because you have joined the Xuandu temple, where the 8 branches all have their own unique inheritance, so you will certainly never lack cultivation methods. However, the biggest difference between our Xuandu temple and other immortal sects lies in the fact that we have a special shortcut, a path, that can help you quickly raise your cultivation realm. The 3 scripture elders then emphasized a very important piece of information, that is merit. She continued to explain in detail, her eyes shining with profound wisdom. Everyone knows that the Xuandu temple is a sect that values merit more than anywhere else. Here, those who possess the top merit and strength will receive superior respect and status. Merit is extremely mysterious and has immense power. It not only has the ability to protect us from the invasion of the outer worldly celestial demons, but it can also increase the chance of passing the heavenly tribulation by up to 3 parts, even 5 parts. Moreover, merit also helps our Dao heart to be more clear, steadfast and brave in advancing on the path of cultivation. She affirmed with certainty to everyone, the role of merit is also clearly demonstrated. When we reach a certain threshold in our cultivation and need to break through to the next realm, at that time, we can consume a certain amount of merit, especially if we use the special secret arts of the Xuandu temple. We can directly break through the current realm. When Li Changsheng heard this, he couldn't help but exclaim in his heart, "Is there such a good thing? No wonder I was directly promoted to the foundation, establishment realm in the Qi guiding grand array. I have a golden lotus of merit, so as long as I accumulate more merit, then I have a complete hope of reaching the nascent soul realm within a year. 3 years to Mahayana, 5 years to ascend. At that time, Elder Yu will be nothing. Give me 5 years, not to mention killing his son, even stealing his wife. What's there to be afraid of?" The 4 scripture elders, with serious expressions, continued to admonish everyone. Because our Xuandu temple has this convenient method, so those with an unsteady Dao heart in their cultivation, once they reach this threshold, often get used to using merit for support. After they have taken the shortcut, it will be very difficult for them to continue to strive for cultivation in a true and orthodox way, gradually losing their original Dao heart and finally becoming passers-by on the long road of the great Dao, long, achieving nothing. Hearing her profound teachings, the disciples replied in unison, their voices echoing with understanding. Disciple understands. Meanwhile, Li Changsheng silently sneered in his heart. The scripture elder has a narrow vision indeed. Merit is limited. How can I believe that? I can accumulate merit by killing monsters in the Moon Palace illusionary realm. As long as my thinking is not skewed, there are always more solutions than problems. The scripture elder continued her lecture, her tone still serious. In addition, using merit to break through to the next realm also has a very big drawback. That is, your strength will be much weaker than those of the same realm. In the following cultivation, she did not hesitate to criticize, frankly, taking the Li branch master of the Jiao Guang branch as a typical example. The Li branch master began to cultivate with merit after breaking through to the golden core realm, and since then, she has always been the weakest among cultivators of the same level. The disciples she taught in the past, once they encountered danger, all died. For that reason, until now, Jiao Guang branch still hasn't found a worthy successor. You should take this as a warning, and absolutely do not stray from the path. The disciples once again replied in unison, understood, their voices echoing throughout the great hall. As for Li Changsheng, he suddenly felt a familiar aura. This smell, he frowned, realizing it was Li Changxi's aura. He could say for sure that, if Li Changxi was already here, she certainly would not agree with the words of this scripture elder. But moreover, she would definitely find a way to regain her dignity. As the only disciple of the Zhao Guang branch, Li Changxi's future Dao companion, and the only candidate for the son-in-law of the Linglong fairy, I cannot betray her. Li Changsheng silently calculated in his heart, my performance today will definitely be seen by Li Changxi. It might even reach the ears of the Linglong fairy. Therefore, I cannot backstab Li Changxi. Therefore, Li Changsheng immediately retorted, his voice firm. Disciple dares not agree with the elder's words. Since I have joined the Zhao Guang branch, disciple cannot sit idly by and watch others. Insult my master. Disciple believes that. The elder's words were somewhat biased. The scripture elder raised an eyebrow, her sharp gaze fixed on him. What do you mean? What's so embarrassing about speaking the truth? With her permission, Li Changsheng did not hesitate and immediately spoke. Disciple dares to ask the elder, how old is my master this year? She replied curtly, 35. He continued to press his eyes full of curiosity. May I be so bold as to ask the elder again? The other 7 branch masters of the immortal sect, how old are they this year? The scripture elder answered Li Changsheng's question. The youngest current branch master of the Yanhe branch is exactly 100 years old. Hearing this, Li Changsheng followed her words, his tone mixed with pride and arrogance. When my master was only 30 years old, she was already one of the 8 branch masters of the immortal sect, the strongest in the world, a feat comparable to the absolute great powers, who have been famous for over 100 years. This clearly proves that she is the #1 genius of the Xuandu Temple, even the #1 genius of all time. So why should we feel ashamed? Just then a clear laugh rang out. Li Changxi appeared a bright smile on her face. She praised Li Changsheng. Well said, Li Changsheng. A scene change took them to the Moon Palace, an immortal realm with picturesque beauty. The mystical moonlight enveloped the area, creating an otherworldly atmosphere. Li Changxi sat calmly in the main seat, her noble and majestic demeanor. She spoke softly. Although I don't care about the trivial opinions of the world, but that junior brother can speak up for me. This makes me very satisfied. However, you should remember that as lords of the immortal world, we cannot put our minds on those mortals. You got it. She looked at Li Changsheng, her tone becoming more cautious, with a reminder. Remember not to do things like that in the future, okay? Li Changsheng, with a firm expression and no hesitation, replied, insulting me is fine, but insulting senior sister is absolutely unacceptable. Hearing this, Li Changxi couldn't help but chuckle softly, a hint of helplessness in her voice. Who taught you that? You don't have to do that. You really don't have to. He immediately retorted, his voice firm, no. Li Changsheng stubbornly said, I've already made up my mind. Senior sister doesn't need to persuade me anymore. He finished his sentence, and in his heart he thought to himself, every experienced man knows that. When a woman says no, you have to listen selectively, because if it's really a no, then it's completely impossible. But if it's a refusal with a different meaning, then you must persist. After hearing this, she no longer pressed him, just sighed softly and said, forget it. Have it your way. Li Changxi suddenly had a question, her gaze directed at Li Changsheng. True king, it seems you approve of my cultivation method, don't you? Li Changsheng quickly affirmed without hesitation. Of course. Regardless of senior sister's origins, there's basically no need to pay too much attention to whether the foundation is solid or not. Just speaking of the cultivation method alone, I have never believed that in any world, a method needs to be perfect. A few flaws are fine. He continued to ramble with absolute confidence. Perhaps rapid progress will bring instability to the foundation. But for me, as long as the rate of advancement is fast enough, all those problems are insignificant. When I was at the Golden Core realm, I not only defeated opponents of the same Golden Core realm, but I could also easily one-shot nascent soul cultivators. By the time he reaches the nascent soul realm to take revenge, I might have already broken through to the spirit transformation realm. Li Changsheng pointed out the crucial point in Li Changxi's method. I see the problem with senior sister's cultivation method is not that the foundation is unstable, but that most people cannot ascend so quickly. Theoretically, as long as one can ascend at an astonishing speed, they will be forever invincible. She was extremely satisfied, a radiant smile blooming on her lips. She praised him profusely. Well said, everyone. Immortal arts can only be unbreakable through speed, as long as I cultivate fast enough. What is an unstable foundation? What is being the weakest of the same rank? None of it matters. It doesn't matter. The 8 disciples I took before, if they couldn't understand my painstaking efforts, then only a true king, like you, is truly worthy to sit and discuss the Tao with me. Only you can comprehend my true ambition and genius. Come, true king, please have a seat. He replied respectfully, many thanks, senior sister. Inside, Li Changsheng was quietly calculating, thinking it through. Although Li Changxi seems to have a different way of thinking, so eccentric she could be considered a psycho. From a conventional viewpoint, theoretically what she says isn't wrong at all. The only potential danger is that merit is hard to obtain. But for the Yaoguang branch, that's not a problem at all, because merit can be easily accumulated in the illusory realm. Then Li Changxi spoke seriously, her tone becoming resolute. The core of the rapid progress in cultivation for our Yaoguang branch is only one thing, that is merit. She continued, her eyes sharp. Merit is still merit, but it's not like the entrenched way of thinking of that scripture elder, that guy. I believe that merit is very easy to accumulate. She seemed slightly troubled, raising a hand to her forehead. True King, you just need to take a trip into the mortal world. As long as you, True King, can't stand injustice and dedicate yourself to heroic deeds, when you return, you'll be overflowing with merit. Li Changxi's voice rose with excitement, her eyes sparkling as if she'd found a treasure. In this world, there is so much injustice and countless merits waiting for us to reap. Her voice suddenly dropped, carrying a deep sense of sorrow. It's a pity only I can do it. The others would rather deceive themselves, delude themselves, and praise a false era of peace with their eyes closed, than dare to act heroically and take the free merit that heaven provides. He forced a smile as a thought flashed through his mind. I get it now. There are too many powerful tigers in this world that can't be defeated. Others don't dare to confront them. But Li Changxi has the solid backing of the #1 person. Plus, she herself is a bit of a lunatic. She doesn't follow common sense. Li Changsheng could clearly understand Li Changxi's thoughts. So naturally, he also saw everyone else here as just mediocre. That's why Li Changxi dared to bravely step forward, faced the danger, and subsequently survived thanks to the help of Fairy Ling Long. He secretly calculated, others might not lack brave warriors, but they lack the absolute support of the current #1 person, and a brain as unconventional as Li Changxi's. Perhaps this is the truth. But I can also follow Li Changxi's path. Li Changsheng, at this moment, couldn't help but come to a bold conclusion. After all, this person known as the current #1, although not my biological mother, could very well be my future mother-in-law. After a moment of contemplation, he spoke with a calm voice. In any case, I am the South Pole Emperor of Longevity. I have witnessed countless dynasties in the immortal realm, from their rise to their fall. So of course I understand the deep meaning of Senior Sister's words. When the world prospers, the people suffer. And when the world declines, the people can't escape suffering either. Li Changxi looked at Li Changsheng with eyes full of admiration. She nodded slightly. True King is indeed worthy of the name True King. Looking across this entire world, I'm afraid only you and I can reach a similar state of understanding. A humble Li Changsheng let out a small cough, replying, Senior Sister, you flatter me. Li Changxi continued sincerely, her tone firm, not at all. There are things that only have real meaning and value when spoken to you. My 8 previous disciples, their understanding of this mortal world is far too shallow. Only you truly understand me, and only I truly understand you. Oh, True King, I'm so lucky to have a kindred spirit like you. Currently, Li Changsheng was in a rather awkward situation. While freeloading, he could only reluctantly reply, Senior Sister, you're too kind. Determined, Li Changxi stood up, her voice full of conviction. Since you, True King, already understand everything, then I don't need to explain certain things further. However, regarding this matter of merit within Xuandu Temple, I'm afraid you won't accumulate much. She turned and instructed him carefully. From now on, don't go to the scripture hall anymore. I will personally dedicate myself to teaching you. In the next 3 days, you, True King, can go down the mountain to accumulate merit. Li Changsheng suddenly felt curious. He asked, Senior Sister, can't I accumulate merit in the illusory realm of Yaoguang? The Yaoguang illusory formation. Li Changxi immediately confirmed, yes, you can. You can accumulate it, but the speed won't be as fast as going down the mountain. After all, it's just an illusory realm. It's not truly the same as the real world, but he still found it hard to understand. He continued to ask, Senior Sister, I don't understand. Why can an illusory realm generate merit? Li Changxi explained seriously, her tone heavy. Junior brother, would you believe me if I said, it's actually not an illusory realm, it is a real world. I am the lunar sovereign. Once I fall, then the myriad worlds I once suppressed will face their apocalypse, Li Changsheng affirmed with certainty, as if he'd had an epiphany. World salvation, that is the best way to obtain merit. Just then Li Changxi burst out laughing and said, just kidding. Ha ha, junior brother. You didn't actually believe that, did you? He forced a laugh and then fell into deep thought. Actually, I really did believe it. If an illusory realm can be used for training, and can also accumulate merit, then what's the difference between a virtual world and the real world? Li Changsheng began to analyze everything. The scripture elder and the others all think that merit is hard to obtain because they don't have a method to open this illusory realm to gain merit. Based on this, could this really be Li Changxi's personal secret? And then he thought with a bit of helplessness. It's just that Li Changxi's mental state is still quite unstable. Perhaps even she herself isn't clear on everything. As if remembering something, Li Changsheng asked, Oh, right, Senior Sister. Can I just leave the mountain that easily? Li Changxi replied gently, her voice full of understanding. You and I are both great powers of the immortal realm. Studying the ordinary teachings at Xuandu Temple is actually quite meaningless for us. Seizing the time, acting heroically, and accumulating merit is the one true path. He could only comply, replying, "I will follow senior sister's teachings." It seemed Li Changsheng could guess a harsh truth. "It seems I now know how the 8 senior brothers before me died." His face darkened as he thought. Li Changshi's method of teaching disciples is basically to have them farm merit for her and lead themselves to their own deaths. Outside, she brought up an important point. "True king, your realm. The early foundation establishment stage is still not quite stable." Li Changxi tried to reassure him, "But it's fine. As long as you advance to the mid-foundation establishment stage, whether your early-stage foundation is solid or not, won't matter much anymore. With your status as a true king, you don't need to worry about things like a stable foundation. Just break through forcefully." Li Changsheng respectfully praised senior sister's words are truly wise. In his heart, he thought, "My 8 senior brothers before me, your deaths were truly not unjust." Li Changsheng grumbled in a low voice. "Senior sister, I only ascended to the foundation establishment stage a mere day ago." She spoke calmly. "Our true cultivation is at the Da Luo level, so cultivating in this illusory realm is just for fun. Do we really have to start from scratch?" Then Li Changxi handed a bag of items to him. "True king, I'm here to help you cultivate." Li Changsheng quickly realized these are top-grade spirit stones. She stood there and explained, "You are the top-ranked inner disciple in this year's assessment, and your monthly allowance is 10 top-grade spirit stones. But right now in the Yaoguang branch, it's just you and me. You can freely use the spiritual energy of the entire Yaoguang illusory world here." Li Changxi reminded him of an important issue. Breaking through requires favorable location and spiritual energy. The other thing relies on merit. "Junior brother, I think the merit you accumulated before hasn't been used up yet." Then she instructed decisively. "Use it all up with something like merit, out with the old, in with the new. There's no need to hold anything back. Junior brother, use your previous rapid cultivation speed to shock these ordinary people at Xuandu Temple." Under Li Changxi's suggestive words, Li Changsheng silently engraved a firm resolve in his heart. Once you've embodied a character, you must play the role to the very end without letting any flaws show. Therefore, he didn't hesitate to use his martial technique, softly chanting, "Merit, convert into points for me now." But at that very moment, a surge of deep crimson killing aura, roiling like fresh blood, suddenly erupted, leaving Li Changsheng utterly astonished. His eyes widened. That surge of killing aura wasn't just a wisp of smoke. It was like a giant tree, towering and continuously expanding, radiating a suffocating pressure throughout the space. Li Changsheng immediately realized something was wrong. A sense of panic rose. "Damn it! This killing aura has gone completely out of my control. How am I supposed to explain this now? That soldier who was killed was ruthlessly executed by Li Changxi with her own hands, just because he happened to condense a blood-red killing aura." He was extremely worried, his mind reeling with a series of questions. What should I do? This is a really tricky situation. Just then, Li Changxi, who was beside him, also let out a cry of surprise. Her tone was full of disbelief. A blood river phenomenon? Then, as if a lightning bolt flashed through her mind, she suddenly recalled information she had heard long ago. When blood-red killing intent condenses into a crimson river, this symbolizes that Junior Brother has personally killed at least tens of thousands of living beings. Even so, Li Changxi didn't doubt Li Changsheng in the slightest. Instead, she told herself with a look of complete understanding, "That's right. My junior brother is the South Pole Emperor of Longevity, a being in charge of life and death who frequently judges good and evil, slays demons and exorcises evil, and can even command lightning. It's only natural for him to have countless souls on his hands. It makes perfect sense." She cheerfully approached and lightly patted Li Changsheng's shoulder, reassuring him naturally. "Junior brother, don't panic. You are the South Pole Emperor of Longevity. By birth, you carry an endless blood debt. So this is just a perfectly normal phenomenon." Li Changsheng tried to keep his face as calm as possible. He replied to her, "Senior sister truly has a discerning eye. You can see through everything. If this were to be seen by the others in the temple, I'm afraid they would misunderstand and think I'm a spy for the demon sect." Hearing this, Li Changxi giggled. "Junior brother, you're quite the joker. But those mediocre people are indeed short-sighted. They might actually misunderstand. All right, let's not talk about them anymore." Junior brother seized this opportunity to break through. He saw that not only was his secret not discovered, but it had also been perfectly rationalized. He felt extremely satisfied and relieved. If that's the case, then I won't be polite anymore. Using merit to improve one's cultivation realm is truly an unparalleled weapon. Without hesitation, Li Changsheng began to focus all his energy on cultivation. I can already feel the threshold of the mid-foundation establishment stage. Time to break through. Immediately after a majestic scene unfolded, around his body appeared large, fiercely burning flames, indicating the intense breakthrough process underway. The incredible pressure that Li Changsheng unleashed created a phenomenon that lit up the entire night sky, causing the surrounding space to seem distorted. Only then did he let out a sigh of relief, feeling a weight lifted from his shoulders. I've officially advanced to the mid-foundation establishment stage. The blood river phenomenon and the merit aura have finally been brought under control. Li Changxi approached extremely excited, her eyes radiant. My judgment was correct. Junior brother, you and I are both quasi-saint level Daluo. Breaking through these mundane realms is as easy as eating cake and drinking water. Since you're at the mid-foundation establishment stage now, then junior brother, go ahead and rest for a while. Later, I will help you break through to the late foundation establishment stage. Li Changsheng hurriedly found an excuse to decline, because he didn't want any more unexpected phenomena to occur. Senior sister, my merit might not be enough. But Li Changxi seemed to pay little attention to those concerns. She waved her hand lightly. No need to worry. I am the reincarnation of the lunar sovereign. Naturally, I'm no ordinary person, but a true powerhouse. I have researched a method for transferring merit. The closer the relationship, the more merit can be given. Since you have acknowledged me as your senior sister, I will naturally do my utmost to help you cultivate. After that, Li Changxi didn't say much more, and just prepared to transfer merit to him. Before the process began, Li Changsheng thought to himself, Li Changxi has begun to transfer her own merit into my body. This is the cultivation world's version of a power transfer. If Li Changxi isn't careful, the risk of backlash is very high. But I don't feel moved at all. And then the unexpected happened. The blood river phenomenon once again couldn't be suppressed. The massive blood-red killing aura erupted again, causing the master of Xuandu Temple to exclaim in shock. A blood river phenomenon. Someone in Xuandu Temple dares to practice demonic arts. How audacious. The third branch master, with his vast experience, surmised from the situation before him. It seems that blood-red aura is being transferred from the Yaoguang illusory realm. That is Li Changxi's residence. But he couldn't believe the truth, unfolding before his eyes. Li Changxi. No, impossible. Could this be? Meanwhile, Li Changsheng could only helplessly raise a hand to his forehead. A sense of despair washed over him. My cover as a demon sect spy has been blown. What should I do? The situation is extremely urgent now. A moment later, Li Changxi approached again, beaming, and happily praised junior brother. Congratulations. In just one day, you've advanced to the late foundation establishment stage. It's just a pity that I wasted at least half of the merit I transferred. Otherwise, I really wanted to push your cultivation straight up to the golden core stage in one go. Li Changsheng, though worried, looked at her with gratitude. Senior sister, you don't need to be so formal. From now on, I can cultivate on my own. But right now, there might be a small problem. Li Changxi looked puzzled and asked, what kind of problem? He calmly explained, senior sister, you know my background. My path has been paved with a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. She seemed unconcerned by the seemingly serious explanation. Instead, she explained casually, this is only natural. The investiture of this god's war dragged the entire immortal realm into it. Even saints personally entered the battlefield. Countless great powers from the human, demon, and witch races all participated to compete for the 365 divine positions. Li Changxi continued to explain to him. The final winners were only 360 principal gods and the 5 strongest divine emperors. Junior brother, you are one of the 5 divine emperors, the South Pole Emperor of Longevity. After being officially deified, you ascended to become one of the 6 sovereigns of the heavenly court. Junior brother, you fought for your life, slaughtering your way through the great heavenly tribulation to ascend to heavenly emperor. If there wasn't a corresponding mountain of corpses and sea of blood, now that would be strange. Unbelievable, even. Li Changsheng felt that what Li Changxi said was incredibly reasonable. It made him quite amused. The corner of his lips curled up with a hint of a hidden smile. I'm really starting to enjoy interacting with psychos. Their worldview is so comprehensive and logical. Their reasoning is impenetrable. Then he forced a smile, glancing at Li Changxi and explaining, senior sister knows my background clearly, so naturally you believe me. But the others in Xuandu Temple, they are all ordinary mortals. They've never seen through the illusion. I'm afraid they won't be able to understand my true identity. He continued on and on, his tone laced with a bit of feigned worry. I've heard that among the disciples this time there's a spy from the heavenly demon sect. I'm really afraid that someone will take advantage of this and twist the truth to frame me as a spy for the heavenly demon sect. Li Changxi immediately rejected his idea without hesitation. How could that be? Junior brother, you're overthinking it. You are clearly a good person, a righteous member of Xuandu Temple. Even an idiot would never think you're a spy for the heavenly demon sect. Li Changsheng saw that she still believed in him wholeheartedly. He couldn't help but think to himself, that's right, I'm the one who exposed the illegitimate child of the heavenly demon sect's leader. If they still dare to suspect me of being a spy, it would be like praising old devil Yu as a saint, daring to sacrifice his own son for the greater good. Such a ridiculous thing could never happen in this world. Just at this moment, a loud shout came from outside, the gate breaking the silence. Changxi opened the moon gate now. Li Changsheng wasn't very surprised. He had a premonition in his heart. As expected, the blood river phenomenon just now must have alarmed the higher-ups of Xuandu Temple. I'm afraid I'm about to face a harsh interrogation from a 3-party council. seeing Li Changsheng show a worried expression. Li Changxi immediately reassured him, her tone firm. "Junior brother, don't be afraid, I'm here. In the immortal realm, we are both invincible. What's a small illusory realm like this to us?" He felt more confident. With a steady gaze, he looked at the approaching branch masters. He thought to himself, senior sister is right. The temple master led the way, entering the moon palace with a stern and displeased expression. The fourth branch master couldn't hide his anxiety and whispered. As expected, he was still led down the wrong path by Changxi. The second branch master was utterly stunned. Exclaiming, already at the late foundation establishment stage, he quickly realized something was amiss. Blood-red killing intent infused in the body, the blood river surging backwards. The blood-red killing aura just now must have come from this kid. At this point, Li Changsheng no longer concealed it, revealing the full extent of his dense blood-red killing aura. The temple master angrily questioned, his tone full of displeasure. "Speak, what exactly was that blood river phenomenon all about?" Li Changxi replied calmly without flinching. "It's because my junior brother killed too many people. Is there a problem?" The temple master couldn't believe his ears. "Junior brother." She immediately confirmed her words, decisive. "That's right, I've discovered that my junior brother is the reincarnation of the South Pole Emperor of longevity from the upper realm. Therefore, I took him as a disciple on behalf of my master, making us peers. I'm here now to inform you all." Another branch master exclaimed helplessly. "The South Pole Emperor of longevity, another psycho." The temple master bluntly criticized, his voice full of sarcasm. "It's true what they say, if the top beam is crooked, the bottom beam will be too. If the one on top is crazy, the one below goes crazy too." The first branch master let out a long sigh full of disappointment. "And to think, I once had high hopes for this kid, Gui Changsheng. Who knew we'd end up with a real psycho and a fake one now?" Meanwhile, the third branch master made a malicious speculation. "I think he's a spy sent by the heavenly demon sect." "That's who he is?" The temple master angrily questioned Li Changsheng, his tone sharp. "Gui Changsheng, do you have anything to say for yourself?" Li Changsheng maintained his calm demeanor, replying with unusual composure, "Temple master, I suggest we drag out and execute the person who just called me a spy sent by the heavenly demon sect." The temple master didn't expect him to dare say such a thing. He exclaimed in shock, "What?" The first branch master was burning with rage, clenching his fists and roaring. "Kid, you dare say that again?" He continued calmly, his tone even more contemptuous. "I recommend we drag the fool who is spreading seditious lies out and execute him. Keeping him around will only lower the intelligence level of Xuandu Temple. Even a pig knows that I am absolutely not a spy for the heavenly demon sect." He was furious, pointing a finger straight at Li Changsheng and shouting, "Kid, do you know who I am?" He frankly criticized without a shred of fear. "A fool not even on par with pigs and dogs." As he finished speaking, Li Changsheng thought to himself, from the moment he walked in, this guy has been looking at me with undisguised killing intent, without any attempt to hide it. He calculated in his mind, I don't care who you are. With my current cultivation speed, it won't take long to kill you. So why should I bother with someone who's already a dead man? Just then the temple master stepped forward, reminding him with a serious expression. "Watch your words. This is Elder Bai." Li Changsheng was not afraid in the slightest. He replied decisively, "Whether it's Elder Bai or any other elder, a fool is still a fool." The temple master heard this and sighed helplessly, while the first branch master roared with indignation. "Good kid. Today I'll show you what this old Bai is made of." Immediately after, Li Changsheng was momentarily stunned, as a figure flashed by like lightning. Before his astonished eyes, Li Changxi had rushed forward. She unleashed a simple yet powerful attack, and took the life of the first branch master. Immediately, Li Changxi gave a cold warning, her voice echoing with authority. "That was close. My junior brother is one of the 6 sovereigns of the heavenly court. Who are you to question him? Get out of here now!" As for Li Changsheng, he looked at her with admiration, thinking to himself, "Is this the value of a powerful backer? I'm in love, I'm in love." Li Changsheng couldn't help but be utterly amazed. This was truly unexpected. I didn't think Li Changxi would strike so decisively. But what's even more unbelievable is that this ruthless act, committed right in front of everyone, didn't face any significant opposition. He silently observed and assessed the reactions of those around him. Not only did the temple master have a subtle, unembarrassed smile, but more than half of the witnesses seemed to be gloating over the scene. Xuandu Temple. This renowned #1 righteous immortal sect truly has some incredibly deep undercurrents. If I let my guard down and die here, all my efforts and achievements might be for nothing. The temple master let out a soft sigh, breaking the tense atmosphere. "Changxi, your actions this time have put me in a very difficult position. Although your situation is quite special, being granted immunity for killing by Fairy Ling Long, the person you attacked was Elder Bai, a figure of considerable influence." Li Changxi showed no signs of being flustered or afraid. She bluntly replied, "What's the big deal about killing that guy surnamed Bai? Is there anyone in that Bai family who is upright and clean? Temple Master, don't pretend to be so noble. If you want to laugh, just go ahead and laugh. If I kill this guy, the happiest person among us is none other than you. This guy deserved to die a long time ago." The others are just asking for trouble. Unless you're planning to use this opportunity to suppress him, push him out of the #1 inner disciple position for this batch, to pave the way for your faction's disciple to take over. Am I right? She questioned angrily, her gaze as sharp as a knife. Do you all really believe that my junior brother is a spy for the Heavenly Demon sect? Hearing this, the temple master frowned slightly and reminded her, Changxi, be careful with your words. I have always had absolute trust in Changsheng. It's just that I need a reasonable explanation to convince the other disciples in the temple. Li Changxi vehemently objected. My junior brother acts and he needs to explain himself to others. Even if one day wherever my junior brother goes, blood flows like a river, the people he kills are all people who deserve to die. What's there to investigate or explain about that? The third branch master stared at her, grinding his teeth. You, Changxi! The temple master timely raised his hand to stop him. However, the necessary procedures still cannot be skipped. The Bai family will definitely go to the discipline hall to accuse you of murder without cause. For now, during this period, you should not go out casually. Li Changxi looked puzzled. She asked, You mean I'm confined to the Moon Palace? Meanwhile, Li Changsheng was silently analyzing internally. This time when the temple master came, he didn't seem to carry the anger or authority I expected. After being humiliated by my senior sister's words, yet when he left, his mood was unusually cheerful. Seeing Li Changsheng's curious reaction, Li Changxi asked, Junior brother, are you curious about the temple master's attitude towards me, aren't you? She immediately explained, the temple master is one of the old guard, but he doesn't harbor any ill will towards us. He also doesn't suspect you at all. Originally, his coming here was just a formality. The one who truly had malicious intentions towards you was that guy surnamed Bai. Li Changsheng couldn't help but feel confused. But I have no acquaintance or grudge with him at all. She replied nonchalantly, Aren't you already acquainted with Bai Guanlin? Li Changsheng asked in surprise, Who is Bai Guanlin? Li Changxi explained briefly, her tone full of disdain. Nothing important. Just a useless kid from the Bai family. Before you showed up, Bai Guanlin had almost secured the top position in this year's Inner Disciple Assessment. But you suddenly burst onto the scene brilliantly, stealing all his spotlight. And most importantly, you took the resources that should have been his. At this point, Li Changsheng finally understood everything clearly. So that's how it is. It turns out my rapid breakthroughs just now, besides relying on accumulated merit, half the reason was also due to the abundant spirit stones. The resources that the #1 inner disciple sister can get is double, compared to the resources that the second-ranked inner sect disciple can get. After a brief moment of thought, Li Changsheng asked again, It seems I'm in the way of the Bai family. Is this senior sister from the Bai family's strength very formidable? She replied disdainfully, not worth mentioning. As long as you hug your mother's big thigh tightly, their true strength is far inferior to the Li family's. You don't need to worry too much. He was temporarily reassured and thought to himself, That's good. Bai family, Bai Guanlin, I've remembered. Li Changsheng suddenly remembered something important. That's right, senior sister. You killed Elder Bai like that. Will there be any big trouble? Li Changxi quickly dismissed it. Not at all. If I kill someone, it's because that person deserved to die. This is just a formality. In a few days, the temple master will present the evidence himself, that he deserved to be killed. Hearing this information, Li Changsheng couldn't help but exclaim, How terrifying. It seems the rules of the Xuandu Temple are different, depending on the person and the subject. Immediately after, she stated firmly, Of course, as long as you're strong enough. Even the laws of heaven are just a piece of scrap paper, let alone the trivial rules and regulations of the Xuandu Temple. Actually, this stuff is pretty boring. There's no such thing as a righteous path or an evil path. Only the strong are respected and get to decide everything. At this moment, Li Changsheng looked at Li Changxi with gratitude. Senior sister is right. Junior brother has learned his lesson. Senior sister, the relationship between the temple master and the Bai family. Isn't it good? After hearing the question, she patiently explained, As you've seen, before the temple master ascended to the throne, the Bai family voted against him. If my mother hadn't been so decisively autocratic and appointed the temple master, then the Xuandu Temple now would probably be in the hands of the Bai family. Li Changsheng understood everything. He exclaimed, So that's how it is. Then he focused on analyzing more deeply. The Xuandu Temple is the #1 immortal sect in this world. The position of the Xuandu Temple's master, if compared to the Blue Star in my previous life, would be equivalent to the President of the United States. Li Changsheng, with extraordinary sharpness, quickly analyzed the situation. The Bai family's public vote against the temple master was an act of rebellion. It was even more serious than the grudge of killing a son. This was a direct challenge to authority, which could not be ignored. He silently judged in his mind. Based on the temple master's attitude today, it seems he is waiting for someone to stand up and confront the Bai family. If I take the initiative to do that, the temple master will probably not hesitate to cover up everything, even if I get caught red-handed in the act. Very good, I can make a move now. The scene changes to the Peak Masters area, where the temple master's hearty laughter echoed, full of unusual glee and satisfaction. Lineage Master Shenshu, a delicate woman with a Chinese beauty, frowned slightly and cautiously reminded senior brother, "Please restrain yourself a little. If the Bai family finds out you're this happy, I'm afraid countless troubles will come." The temple master didn't seem to care at all. He replied with a look of contempt, "The Bai family, they're nothing in my eyes. If it weren't for senior sister Linglong's sake, I would have wiped them out long ago." Lineage Master Shenshu observed the situation and couldn't help but sigh in her heart. Who would have thought that the Bai family would be senior sister Linglong's in-laws? With senior sister Linglong's presence and influence, no one would dare touch the Bai family. Bai Guanlin, senior sister Linglong's youngest son, was also the successor that the Bai family wholeheartedly supported and placed all their hopes on. His existence would surely put Li Changsheng in countless dangers. There would be many who would plot to harm Li Changsheng in order to clear the way for Bai Guanlin's advancement. After hearing her words, the temple master sighed softly. A hint of helplessness flashed in his eyes. What you said is not without reason. At the same time in Li Changsheng's mind, a fierce thought erupted, carrying a hint of excitement mixed with ruthlessness. The Bai family Bai Guanlin, huh? Looks like this game will be you die, I live. Li Changsheng was suddenly lost in a distant memory. In this Xuandu temple, how many people truly understood him? In his past life, he had only worked for a mere 2 years. Thanks to his eloquence in communication and his handsome appearance, he almost became the son-in-law of a powerful deputy mayor in the city where he lived. Then an unexpected incident occurred, transmigrating him to this world abruptly. However, Li Changsheng adapted quite quickly. With his strong adaptability, he had once struggled to choose between finding a rich sugar mommy to rely on or taking the imperial examinations to gain fame in this strange world. But then another unexpected event occurred. He didn't find any sugar mommies. Instead, the heavenly demon sect found him and he was captured by the demonic sect. Li Changsheng recalled that it took him almost a year to gain a foothold in the heavenly demon sect. But then he was sent to the Xuandu temple. Life seemed to always give him glimmers of hope. But as soon as he grasped them, they were all crushed shortly after. Faced with successive bitter lessons from the past, Li Changsheng found it difficult to find any sense of security. Returning to the present, he thought to himself, especially now, he was in danger of having his identity exposed. Truly, at the Xuandu temple, his senior sister Li Changxi had some mental issues. As for the Bai family, they openly expressed their hostility in a clear manner. Li Changsheng could easily guess that, even if he wanted to let the Bai family go, the Bai family would absolutely not let him go. Bai Guanlin's path to success had clearly been meticulously planned by the Bai family. He, a commoner with no distinguished background, had accidentally stood in the way of Bai Guanlin's future. The Bai family would surely find a way to eliminate him, to clear the obstacle for their precious son. He had no other choice. He could only be forced to strike first to gain the upper hand. Strike first to gain the upper hand. Just then, Li Daoyan rushed over panting and called out, "Changsheng, Ying Hongye." Then he lowered his voice and reminded Li Changsheng, "Junior Marshal Uncle, you must be very careful. The man in white is Bai Guanlin. He's definitely here to cause trouble for you." She also whispered a warning, "Junior Marshal Uncle, don't confront him directly." While Li Changsheng cautiously looked at Bai Guanlin, standing opposite him, he realized that it seemed what had just happened had already spread throughout the Xuandu temple. There's no such thing as a secret here, he thought to himself. Bai Guanlin approached, with a fake smile and a fawning attitude. "Junior Marshal Uncle, there was a misunderstanding just now. After I found out I was so restless, that I rushed here to apologize to you, Junior Marshal Uncle. Junior Marshal Uncle's merit has been recognized by the Black-Yellow Merit Pagoda, so you are definitely not a member of the Heavenly Demon Sect. Perhaps my uncle was mistaken?" Li Changsheng glanced at Bai Guanlin with annoyance, scornful in his heart. "And you dare call this an apology? A dog that bites doesn't bark. This dog needs to be killed as soon as possible. Otherwise, it could become a great disaster later on." Those who followed Bai Guanlin, seeing this, joined in to sneer, their tone full of contempt. "Young Master Bai is being too polite. Young Master Li, young Master Bai has humbled himself to apologize. Why haven't you accepted it yet? Elder Bai is dead, and yet young Master Bai still intentionally came to apologize. This Jiaoguang lineage is truly arrogant and tyrannical." But meanwhile, Bai Guanlin bluntly warned, his eyes full of self-satisfaction and arrogance. "Young Master Li, you have offended our Bai family. From now on, you are not allowed to set foot in the Huandu temple, not even half a step," he confidently asserted with a smirk. "Li Changxi can't protect you either." Li Changsheng was not afraid in the slightest. The corners of his lips unconsciously curved into a wicked smile. He thought to himself, still just a kid, "I'll teach you what a real actor is." A second later, a surprising scene unfolded. Li Changsheng suddenly coughed up blood, bright red blood flowing from the corner of his mouth. Then his body swayed and he fell backward, collapsing to the ground. Lying on the ground, he weakly questioned, his voice full of pain and indignation. "Bai Guanlin, you call this an apology?" Bai Guanlin quickly explained, his face showing obvious panic. It wasn't me who did it." Li Daoyan quickly ran over to help Li Changsheng up, then turned and shouted at Bai Guanlin. Bai Guanlin, you're a real man. You dare to do it, but don't dare to take responsibility. You really have the style of a hypocrite. But Ying Hongye at the side also criticized, her eyes full of contempt. One face in front, another behind. Bai Guanlin, if you don't go down the mountain to act, it would be a real waste of your talent. Bai Guanlin stammered, his face flushed. It wasn't me. It was that guy Li Changsheng who was acting. Li Daoyan lunged forward, almost roaring. Bai Guanlin, do you think I'm an idiot? How could Changsheng hit himself? This sharp remark from Li Daoyan left Bai Guanlin completely stunned, unable to find any words to refute. But Ying Hongye continued to criticize sharply, her eyes as sharp as knives. Bai Guanlin, you actually dared to let your Dao protector take action, to bully the weak. This action has completely broken the rules of the Xuandu Temple. Do you want to go to the law enforcement hall to be punished? Bai Guanlin was so provoked that he could no longer hold back. He shouted back at Ying Hongye. What nonsense are you spouting? In the Xuandu Temple? The rule forbidding Dao protectors from coming up the mountain is an unchangeable one. How could I break that rule on my own accord? Hearing him say this, Dan Hongdiep silently calculated. The Xuandu Temple is famous for being the place with the densest spiritual energy in the world, providing the best cultivation conditions. But precisely because of that, the Xuandu Temple has a strict rule that does not allow a disciple's Dao protector to stay on the mountain. However, Bai Guanlin was Linglong's youngest son, a noble fairy. Were these rules really enough to deter and bind him? Bai Guanlin vehemently asserted, his tone full of indignation. Do you all not believe what I'm saying? What I said is the absolute truth. But Li Daoyan still didn't believe him. He replied coldly, know the face but not the heart. I see you as nothing but a hypocrite, deceiving the world to gain fame. Fortunately, Changsheng's strength is extremely formidable. If I were standing there, I'm afraid I would have been sneak attacked and killed by you. With that, Li Daoyan lost control and suddenly grabbed Bai Guanlin's collar. He growled, Li Daoyan, are you looking to die? He shouted. Everyone sees it. Bai Guanlin is openly threatening me. If anything happens to me, it must be Bai Guanlin's doing, not wanting the situation to escalate. Bai Guanlin reluctantly loosened his grip on Li Daoyan's collar. He gritted his teeth. You! Li Changsheng, standing to the side, observed and silently calculated. For young people who have never experienced such storms, losing control of their emotions is understandable. However, the ability to control one's emotions, in time as Bai Guanlin just did, shows the potential to become a true silver fox. A cunning and scheming person fit for the role of a ruler. A person like that truly cannot be kept alive. He realized that there was no point in staying here any longer. He turned and said, forget it. If everyone has their own opinion, then let's report it to the law enforcement hall and request that the law enforcement elder personally preside over justice. Li Daoyan immediately guessed Bai Guanlin's intention. He sneered. Who doesn't know your illustrious background? The law enforcement hall. Can they enforce the law fairly? Ying Hongye, standing behind, lightly tapped Li Daoyan's hand, reminding him to watch his words. Li Daoyan immediately retorted, that's just how it is. This whole thing was obviously done by Bai Guanlin. While Bai Guanlin raised his hand and ordered his subordinate, go invite the law enforcement elder of the law enforcement hall. The men with him immediately obeyed. Li Changsheng wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, then asked telepathically, what kind of person is the law enforcement elder of the law enforcement hall? Ying Hongye answered Li Changsheng's question. He's the temple master's man. But the law enforcement elder of the law enforcement hall has always been known for his impartial enforcement. From that information, Li Changsheng calmly analyzed. It's good that he's the temple master's man. Ying Hongye must have seen through the truth. But that doesn't matter anymore. A moment later, a subordinate respectfully led the law enforcement elder in, bowing and saying, law enforcement elder, this way please. Bai Guanlin followed protocol and bowed formally, saying, please elder, uphold justice for me. However, the law enforcement elder shouted angrily, you're talking nonsense. This humble one enforces the law impartially without any personal feelings. Before, someone came and asked this humble one to show you favor. Hearing this, Bai Guanlin showed a satisfied smile, thinking that everything was under control. Then I will trouble the elder. But the law enforcement elder reprimanded loudly, if you are only lightly disciplined, without a heavy warning, then I'm afraid that in the future you, Bai Guanlin, will make even greater mistakes. From this moment on, you must confine yourself in the cave for 3 days, to reflect and set an example for others. If you reoffend, you will be severely punished without mercy. Bai Guanlin exclaimed in worry, Elder, I am wronged. The elder glared angrily. Insolent! The wound on Li Changsheng's body is clearly visible. You are being disrespectful to your superior. Do you dare to suspect this humble one of slandering you? Bai Guanlin's face darkened as he muttered, I am not convinced. The law enforcement elder drew his weapon, his voice resolute. This is not up to you to decide. In a flash, Bai Guanlin's body was tightly bound, unable to move. Just like that, this powerful elder dragged the resisting Bai Guanlin away, to be punished. But the others who were on Bai Guanlin's side, seeing the unfavorable situation, quickly reminded each other, let's go. Li Daoyan, seeing that scene, spoke cheerfully. The law enforcement elder is truly wise and discerning. Fair and just. Later I will personally present him with a silk banner. Ying Hongye from behind curiously asked Li Changsheng, junior marshal uncle. Why did that law enforcement elder help us? Can you explain it to me? Li Changsheng looked as if he had understood everything. He replied, I realized this a long time ago. Li Changsheng analyzed the current situation. The Xuandu Temple, as the #1 immortal sect in this world, naturally had to have very strict rules. After all, in my previous life, I also had 2 years of office work, which helped me understand how large organizations operate. He recalled the incident that had happened not long ago, when Li Changxi ruthlessly killed a member of the Bai family right in front of the temple master. Not only was the temple master not angry, but he even seemed happy. This made him completely understand the temple master's position and attitude. Currently, Li Changsheng was full of confidence. I have now openly expressed my hostility towards the Bai family. I don't believe the temple master will refuse my reliance on him. Clearly, the temple master is hoping for someone to stand up and deal with the Bai family, and I am that proactive person. Therefore, the temple master will definitely protect me. This is an unspoken understanding, a quid pro quo deal between intelligent people. Although Bai Guanlin was young in age and experience, he was born into a powerful family, possessing a superior reincarnation skill. He absolutely cannot be underestimated. Thinking carefully, Li Changsheng gently called out Miss Ying. Ying Hongye smiled faintly in response, her eyes hinting at her cunning. Junior marshal uncle is too kind. Please just call me Hongye. Li Changsheng also didn't stand on ceremony and replied casually. Well then, from now on, you don't need to call me junior marshal uncle anymore. Let's just address each other normally for convenience. Hongye, I have a feeling that you and Bai Guanlin have a deep-seated animosity. He easily sensed the simmering hostility between the two. The relationship between the two of them was clearly very tense. Moreover, the Ying family and the Bai family had a deep-seated blood feud for a long time. Plus the results of this year's intersect disciple examination, with brother Chang Sheng ranking first, Bai Guanlin second, and Ying Hongye third, for them to be able to get along with us would be a strange thing indeed. At this point, Li Changsheng understood all the knots. So that's how it is. Everyone knows that first and second place can hardly get along, but in fact, even second and third place are not at all comfortable with each other. Very good, such talents can indeed be used. After considering all aspects, he asked Hongye for a favor. I have a favor to ask of you. Ying Hongye replied generously, her voice light and graceful. Brother, just say it. As long as it's within my ability, I will definitely do my best. Li Changsheng didn't beat around the bush. He went straight to the point. Those people who just left with Bai Guanlin, Hongyi, can you provide me with a detailed list of them? She quickly replied, looking quite surprised. This is not difficult. But brother Changsheng, what do you want this list for? Li Changsheng skillfully explained the reason, his smile hiding a deep meaning. Just to see if it's possible to turn enemies into friends. After he finished speaking, Li Changsheng thought to himself, it would be strange if that could happen. Today, this whole group and Bai Guanlin have lost face in front of the temple master and everyone. Who knows? If any of them will hold a grudge, in this world of cultivation, every step is fraught with danger. This group must be eliminated. Only the dead can truly put one's mind at ease. Ying Hongye began to recount the information about those people to Li Changsheng. This group is actually not too difficult to deal with. Only 4 of them are intersect disciples with cultivation. That has just reached the early foundation establishment stage. Most of their families have been dependent on the Bai family since they were at the foot of the mountain. There are also a few who came up the mountain just to cling to Bai Guanlin's power. Then, she handed him an exquisitely rolled scroll of paper. It's hard to make friends with these people. Brother Changsheng, you need to understand that the conflict between you and them is basically irreconcilable. Here, this list is for you. After hearing this, Li Changsheng became even more excited. Another legitimate reason to eliminate them. As expected, I wasn't wrong about Ying Hongye. Although both of them came from prestigious great families, Li Daoyan was clearly just a troublemaker, spoiled, while Ying Hongye was a true elite of the family, with a mind and vision. Therefore, Li Changsheng expressed his gratitude to Hongye. I owe you a favor, but Ying Hong replied with a polite and graceful tone. It's just a small matter. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave to continue my cultivation. Li Changsheng clasped his hands in a farewell gesture. The scene changes to Yanhe Peak, where the scenery of mountains and water is picturesque like a watercolor painting. The clear streams meander, blending into the poetic scenery of large and small houses hidden among the mountains and forests, creating an exquisite otherworldly beauty. Li Changsheng looked at the token in his hand and thought to himself, before, the Sutra Elder gave me this token. With it, I can freely enter and exit the Sutra Hall and even Yanhe Peak. He took out another item. And this is Bai Guanlin's communication talisman. Earlier, when Bai Guanlin wasn't paying attention, I used an illusion and some clever tricks to swap his communication talisman. Li Changsheng suddenly remembered the night he argued with Bai Guanlin. The communication talismans in this world are somewhat similar to WeChat. Accounts on the blue star, Earth, You can set up fixed contacts and exchange news. Almost everyone on the list that Ying Hongye just provided is in the contact list of this communication talisman. He had grasped the origins of the people in the Xuandu Temple, including Bai Guanlin. Most of the people whose names are on this communication talisman are from Yanhe Peak. Not only that, even Li Daoyan was a disciple of Yanhe Peak. Next, Li Changsheng couldn't help but wonder. This Yanhe Peak, could it be the gathering place of the aristocratic disciples, where underground power is consolidated? Just then, the token in his hand suddenly flashed with a faint light, clearly showing the image of Bai Guanlin. Li Changsheng was overjoyed. The Sutra Elder's token has sent a signal. Good, Bai Guanlin has left the mountain. I must start acting too. The illusion of the Jiaoguang lineage has finally come into play. Just as planned, first destroy the nest, then slay the tiger. The scene flashes back to 10 minutes ago. In Bai Guanlin's private room, Bai Guanlin stared intently at a strange piece of paper in his hand. He thought to himself, this paper, I only found it on me after I returned to my room. Where did it come from? Bai Guanlin's eyes quickly scanned the words on the old piece of paper. Each word seemed to be etched into his mind. I am a silent disciple of the heavenly demon sect, planted in the Xuandu Temple for a long time. Now I long to escape the darkness, to return to the righteous path. But I am afraid that the Xuandu Temple will not be able to accept me. If young Master Bai is willing to extend a helping hand, I am willing to help you frame Li Changsheng. As a spy for the heavenly demon sect, Bai Guanlin's eyebrows gradually furrowed, forming a deep crease on his forehead. A feeling of suspicion and excitement intertwined as he read on. Moreover, in my hands, I hold irrefutable evidence of the secret collusion between the current temple master and the high-ranking forces of the heavenly demon sect. The last line of information on the small piece of paper made Bai Guanlin's heart beat even faster. If young Master Bai is truly sincere, please come to the Qingfeng Inn at the foot of the mountain at midnight tonight to meet. But after the hour, there will be no more chances. Please remember to come alone. Otherwise, I will not show up. At this moment, he could be absolutely certain that there was indeed a spy from the heavenly demon sect in the Xuandu Temple. However, Bai Guanlin still couldn't fully believe that this note was left by that person himself. Moreover, I am currently under house arrest. If I am discovered at the foot of the mountain, my punishment will surely be doubled. A surge of anger erupted in his heart. Bai Guanlin roared and threw the piece of paper to the ground. House arrest! What the hell, I was framed in this damn sect rule. How can it bind me? Bai Guanlin took a deep breath, trying to calm down and analyze the situation carefully. He told himself, if this is really a letter from an undercover agent of the heavenly demon sect, then this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If I miss it, I'll never get it again. And if what he says is true, the Bai family will hold absolute control, and even have hope of overthrowing the current temple master. Moreover, I can also get rid of that hateful Li Changsheng, even if this is a trap. There are still people from the Bai family protecting me at the foot of the mountain. I'm still completely safe. There's no need to hesitate any longer. Bai Guanlin immediately stood up, opened the door, and walked out. Down the mountain. His plan had succeeded perfectly. As expected, Bai Guanlin had taken the bait. As soon as he left, I immediately snuck in to carry out the next step of the plan under his guise. Immediately after disguising himself as Bai Guanlin, Li Changsheng ordered decisively, his voice carrying a fake authority. Everyone, gather in my room at once. In his heart, Li Changsheng silently calculated. A cold glint flashed in his eyes. It's too troublesome to come one by one. It's best to wipe them all out at once to save trouble. Du Xiaojia, with a look of concern, spoke up. Senior brother Bai, aren't you under house arrest? For us to come to your place now would be a violation of the sect's rules. Li Changsheng, under the guise of Bai Guanlin, scornfully waved his hand. Rules are what? Can they bind me? A moment later, under Li Changsheng's command, Du Xiaojia and all the others had quickly arrived, speaking in unison. Senior brother, we have arrived. Li Changsheng was quite surprised by their absolute obedience. With just one call from Bai Guanlin, this group of people immediately came running, without any regard for violating the sect's rules. While Du Xiaojia was approaching, Li Changsheng glanced at her warily. A cold thought crossed his mind. The threat from the Bai family seems to be much stronger than I thought. All the more reason that Bai Guanlin and this group of people cannot be left alive. Du Xiaojia asked coquettishly, her eyes full of admiration. Senior brother Bai, how did you break the restriction placed by the law enforcement elder? Li Changsheng quickly recognized Du Xiaojia and her complicated relationship. He cheerfully explained, his tone laced with a hint of self-satisfaction. I of course have a special magical tool given by my family. Li Changsheng silently speculated about her relationship with Bai Guanlin. The Du family at the foot of the mountain is one of the vassal families, loyal to the Bai family. Du Xiaojia and Bai Guanlin grew up together since childhood. There was even a marriage engagement. When Bai Guanlin officially holds his grand wedding, Du Xiaojia will naturally become his concubine. While she was massaging his legs, Li Changsheng thought to himself, as expected of a second-generation immortal. Everything is arranged. Future prospects, marriage, magical treasures, career path. So many things have been arranged since Bai Guanlin was just born. Li Changsheng was definitely an accident in his life. Bai Guanlin and the Bai family would never accept an accident like me existing. So, I can only make the Bai family have an accident first. At this moment, the gentle Tu Xiaojia spoke up, her tone full of indignation. Senior brother Bai is truly amazing. It's all the fault of that detestable Li Changsheng, daring to set a trap to frame you. He really deserves to die. Senior brother Bai, rest assured Li Changsheng won't stay on the mountain forever. When he comes down the mountain, I'll have the family's retainers eliminate him. Li Changsheng continued his act, his voice low. I've gathered everyone here this time to discuss the matter of Li Changsheng. This punk is too cunning and deceitful. He also has the support of Li Changxi and the Abbey Master. Now he even dares to blatantly set a trap to frame me. If we let a few more years pass, I don't know what else he'll be capable of. Therefore, I must strike first to gain the upper hand. A young man in the group immediately reassured him. Senior brother Bai, rest assured. It's indeed inconvenient to act on the mountain. But once Li Changsheng comes down the mountain alone, he won't be able to stir up any trouble. The purple-haired girl agreed, you're right. On the mountain, we're bound by the sect's rules. We can't really harm him. We have to find a chance to lure him down the mountain. As long as Li Changsheng leaves this place, he'll be a sitting duck. Another brown-haired woman shared the same thought and added, that's right. Let's place a contract with the Assassin's League. Things that can be solved with spirit stones don't require us to get our own hands dirty. As Li Changsheng listened to their conversation, he thought to himself, these people all seem to come from prestigious families. Some have power, others have money. To deal with commoners like me, they really have a lot of tricks up their sleeves. I absolutely cannot let these people go down the mountain. Down the mountain is their turf. But up here on this mountain, this is my turf. With a radiant, meaningful smile, Bai Guanlin gestured subtly. His warm voice rang out. Everyone please have a seat. I've prepared some fresh spirit fruits and premium spirit wine. We can enjoy them while we have a pleasant chat. The group of disciples obediently sat down at the stone table. They all said in unison, thank you, senior brother Bai. Their words were full of respect and gratitude. As they gently lifted their glasses of clear spirit wine to their lips, Li Changsheng silently pondered. He told himself a true big brother can never be stingy with his little brothers, and you definitely can't be petty. Even the smallest favors must be given out in a timely manner. If Bai Guanlin is on this level, then I'm leagues ahead of him. Before long, a female disciple gently shook her head, her eyes somewhat dazed. Her voice was hazy. Oh, this spirit wine. It seems stronger than usual today. It's making me a little dizzy. Another male disciple, his face flushed from the wine and spirit energy, mumbled. Me too, I feel strangely sleepy. It's so hard to resist. Tu Xiaojia with a puzzled expression asked, Senior brother Bai, did you bring out the premium spirit wine that our family offered to treat us? It feels completely different from the spirit wine I've had before. Bai Guanlin didn't hesitate and calmly replied, Junior sister Tu, you're very perceptive. That's right. This is the precious reserve kept in my Bai family. The spirit energy contained within is indeed much purer and more abundant than that of ordinary spirit wines. If you all feel sleepy, don't try to resist. Just let yourselves fall asleep. When you wake up, I guarantee your cultivation will advance by a minor realm. The brown-haired woman, completely unsuspicious of the tempting promise, said joyfully, Thank you, Senior brother Bai, for granting us this rare opportunity. The purple-haired girl also couldn't help but offer sincere praise. Senior brother Bai is truly the best. Even the young man, who was usually strong-willed, couldn't resist the overwhelming drowsiness. He slumped onto the table, his voice a tired whisper. Senior brother Bai, sorry to be a bother, but I really can't take it anymore. I need to sleep for a bit. Li Changsheng, with a cold, calculating glint in his eyes, had been silently observing the whole scene. He waited until everyone was completely lost in a deep slumber. Their bodies slumped over the stone table. Gripping the sword in his hand, he gently drew it from its sheath. The cold steel reflected his terrifyingly emotionless face. A demonic smile played on his lips. He whispered, his voice like the grim reaper's call in the dead of night. Sleep well for all eternity. Then, without hesitation, he swung his sword, ending all the lives that were drunkenly dreaming of advancing their cultivation. Li Changsheng cautiously observed the bodies lying before him. Although they were all dead, experience told him that approaching and looting the corpses in this situation was extremely dangerous. He analyzed inwardly. Most of these people were disciples of major families. No one could guess if their storage bags contained any hidden treasures or self-defense forbidden arts. Li Changsheng thought it through carefully. If he tried to refine or hastily seize those items, his identity might be exposed. Therefore, he decided to suppress his greed. Instead, another plan formed. He quickly poisoned the corpses and set up sophisticated traps throughout the room. Finally, Li Changsheng closed the door with satisfaction and muttered, "This should be enough." However, the worry in his heart had not yet dissipated. Eliminating these followers was just the beginning, because the biggest threat still loomed by Guanlin. He had been lured down the mountain for now, but he would surely return. Li Changsheng told himself, going down the mountain to hunt down Bai Guanlin is far too risky. Those followers just revealed that. Bai Guanlin has a huge power base at the foot of the mountain. He can easily mobilize support from his family at any time. So risking leaving Xuandu Temple right now is not an option. Li Changsheng stood on high ground, surveying the majestic mountain scenery. He realized the ideal ambush spot was on the path that Bai Guanlin had to take to return. He continued to analyze every aspect very seriously. Bai Guanlin is not just an important figure in the Bai family, but he also possesses outstanding talent and a solid family background. People like that usually have a few life-saving treasures. This time I'm forced to take a risk. The success rate is probably less than 50%, but to avoid any complications from delaying, I still have to give it a shot. Li Changsheng clearly understood Bai Guanlin's special status, a disciple from a noble family, with power and a deep network of connections. At this moment, he reminded himself of his identity as an undercover agent, a spy for the demon cult, always at risk of being exposed at any moment. Now is the best time to finish off. Bai Guanlin, if I miss this chance, I'll never get another one. I have to send him on a one-way trip. Analyzing Xuandu Temple, contrary to its appearance as an immortal sect, it actually has no guardian spirit beasts or fortified gates. Its doors are always wide open. Li Changsheng knew that at Xuandu Temple, it's easy for disciples to leave the mountain, and just as easy for outside enemies to come up. However, with its reputation as the world's #1 immortal sect, Xuandu Temple's gates had never been breached, because it housed the Tower of Xuanhuang Merit, a defensive, ancient artifact. Very quickly, he had moved to the tea house at the foot of the mountain. This also creates an opportunity for me and Bai Guanlin to act freely. After all, if this were a sect with stricter rules, coming and going as one pleases would never be this easy. Li Changsheng hid on a high tree branch, waiting patiently. Below him, a familiar figure appeared. Bai Guanlin had arrived. Without a moment's hesitation, he immediately summoned his combat weapon. Bai Guanlin quickly noticed his charge. Who's there? He only saw Li Changsheng unleash a lightning-fast attack. A fatal blow aimed to take his head clean off. However, a surprising scene occurred. Bai Guanlin's defensive shield activated, blocking his attack. Damn you, second-generation immortal! In the end, he couldn't withstand it and coughed up blood. After the surprise attack, Li Changsheng immediately retreated and fled. So it was a protective robe. It would take at least a golden core level attack to break through it. All right, time to bounce. The experts in the area quickly detected the anomaly, feeling the killing intent and violent energy. Who is making a move here? He didn't expect to be discovered so quickly. Such a short fight, yet it already attracted the attention of the experts at Xuandu Temple. Li Changsheng pulled out a card, a confident look on his face. But I've already grasped a part of the authority to control the Moon Palace, so I can return to the Moon Palace at any time. Just then he cried out in alarm as a giant hand suddenly reached out from a spatial vortex and grabbed him. Just like that, Li Changsheng vanished into thin air. The person who had attacked Bai Guanlin saw this and exclaimed, "So he has an accomplice." Meanwhile, Li Changsheng was pulled by the black-robed person into a completely different space. A confused Li Changsheng gritted his teeth and asked, "Who are you? Why did you save me?" The black-robed person got straight to the point. "You want to kill Bai Guanlin?" He stared blankly at the black-robed person. Although he didn't know why this mysterious person saved him, it was clear that he had been watching him. Since that was the case, there was no need to hide it anymore. So Li Changsheng admitted frankly, "Of course." Hearing this, the black-robed person scoffed. "No wonder you're Li Changshi's disciple. Your brain is just as messed up as hers." Then the black-robed person recounted the past. Back then, Li Changshi killed her husband on their wedding night. And you don't even have a golden core yet, but you dare to try and kill Bai Guanlin, the Yaoguang lineage. Really churns out some ruthless characters, huh? Li Changsheng couldn't believe what he was hearing. Li Changshi was married, but from what I've observed, she's clearly still an innocent maiden. Li Changsheng couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. However, according to the black-robed man's story, Li Changshi seemed to have achieved enlightenment by killing her husband, a phrase full of dark and terrifying implications. Instead of being repulsed, Li Changsheng didn't hesitate to praise excellent, truly worthy of being my senior sister. Then, with a grateful expression, he asked the black-robed person, "Sir, why did you save me?" The black-robed person replied coldly, "It wasn't me who wanted to save you. Someone else asked me to do it." Li Changsheng immediately suggested a name he thought was logical, Senior Sister Li, but the black-robed person quickly denied it. "Wrong guess. Li Changshi actually had no idea you were this reckless." He specifically named the person who asked the cult mistress. Li Changsheng quickly deduced and realized the deep meaning of this information. The cult mistress. Then, of course, she's the mistress of the heavenly demon cult. The waters of Xuandu Temple are truly unfathomably deep. My caution was never misplaced. In this treacherous cultivation world, if you're even a little careless, you could die without even knowing who was behind it. After a moment of reflection, he marveled. I never expected the cult mistress to have a trusted confidant like you hidden at Xuandu Temple. Hearing this, the black-robed person said coldly, "You don't need to waste your time guessing my identity. And you don't need to thank me. From now on, just serve the mistress faithfully, and that will be enough." Li Changsheng immediately expressed his loyalty firmly. "That goes without saying. I am a disciple of the sacred cult. Of course I will be wholeheartedly loyal to the mistress." He suddenly remembered the difference in terminology. Heavenly demon cult is what the righteous path calls it, while those belonging to this faction always call themselves the heavenly sacred cult. He suddenly posed a meaningful question. As a spy from the heavenly sacred cult, yet you accidentally killed the cult master's illegitimate son. You must be in quite a panic, right? From the information the black-robed person had just revealed, Li Changsheng further confirmed his judgment. I wasn't wrong. This person is indeed a high-ranking figure at Xuandu Temple. The waters at Xuandu Temple are so deep you can't see the bottom. The Abbey Master's heavenly Tao oath over there seems truly lonely, but that's fine. It seems the cult mistress has no ill intentions towards me for the time being. Then he respectfully said, "I trust that the mistress can see my loyalty." The black-robed person didn't hesitate to criticize him frankly. "I haven't seen any loyalty, but your audacity, the mistress will surely recognize it soon enough." He pointed out Li Changsheng's bold actions. First outing old Demon Yu's illegitimate son. Then he couldn't help but exclaim, "And then, you go and kill the heir the Bai family painstakingly cultivated. Besides that psychopath Li Changxi, perhaps in this whole world, there's no one as audacious and arrogant as you." Li Changsheng quickly made an excuse. "I'm just trying to survive." At this point, the black-robed person began to analyze the information he had just gathered. Actually, between Bing Zibing and Li Changsheng, there was no significant conflict. It's just that Li Changsheng heard Bing Zibing talking in his sleep, so he decisively outed him, thereby winning Li Changxi's support. If it were just that, it would only prove that Li Changsheng is a ruthless and decisive person. But this time, he brazenly went after Bai Guanlin. This really doesn't make sense. He couldn't help but exclaim, "Killing old Demon Yu's illegitimate son already made Li Changsheng an enemy of the world's #1 great demon. Now, he even dares to kill the son of Fairy Linglong." Only now was the black-robed man truly horrified. Just how much nerve does this guy have? After a moment's thought, he judged, "You are indeed very suitable to be a reckless demonic cultivator." Holding nothing back, he continued, his tone somewhat self-deprecating. "Bing Zibing Bai Guanlin, it doesn't matter. Neither of them posed a threat to your life. But in the end, you ignored everything, cared about nothing, and just went ahead and killed them. Seeing a young person like you, I feel like I've gotten old. I no longer have your sharp edge." Li Changsheng quickly explained, "No, I'm not reckless at all. But there are always crazy people who want to harm me." He suddenly remembered something important. "That's right. The mistress has obtained your undercover list. From now on, you will be under the mistress's direct supervision and will only carry out missions assigned by her. I am the liaison between you and the mistress, and also your only superior. No one else in the sacred cult can assign you any missions." He obeyed, clasping his hands and replying, "Understood." After speaking, Li Changsheng thought with satisfaction, "This is good. After all, I've already reported the matter of old Demon Yu's illegitimate son. As long as the cult mistress is someone who values her reputation, she'll consider herself indebted to me." Looking at the actions of this man in black, it's clear the cult mistress values her reputation, but he remained extremely vigilant. Of course, you can't expect too much from the people of the heavenly demon cult. Although the cult mistress seems to have good intentions towards me, I still need to be careful. I have to find a chance to get some leverage on the cult mistress, or figure out how to deal with that useless son of hers from the legends. Li Changsheng tried to dig for more information. "Does the mistress have any instructions now?" The black-robed person handed him a jade slip and said inside, "This are the cultivation techniques of the sacred cult. Learn them quickly. If you're a disciple of the sacred cult, but don't even know the basic techniques, no one will believe you." But it didn't stop there. The man in black continued with a reminder, his tone cold and meaningful. Also, this jade slip records in detail the method for refining the 100 Souls banner, an evil artifact along with a list of all the necessary materials. The mistress has ordered that you must complete the refining of the 100 Souls banner within 3 months. As Li Changsheng absorbed the contents of the jade slip, he was utterly stunned. The 100 Souls banner, its reputation echoed throughout the cultivation world. It was an extremely vicious soul-type magical artifact, used to capture and refine the souls of living beings. This was the symbol, the signature equipment, of notorious demonic cultivators. But he knew all too well about this terrifying artifact. Simply killing people was not enough to refine the 100 Souls banner. Li Changsheng thought to himself, this artifact also requires the refiner to seize the 3 Hun and 7 Po of a person while they are still alive. And what's more, they must be the souls of cultivators with a certain level of achievement. Because the 100 souls in the 100 Souls banner refers to transcendent living souls that have embarked on the path of cultivation and evolution. If it were just ordinary mortals, it would be completely insufficient. To refine a single 100 souls banner, one must kill at least 10,000 accomplished cultivators to even have a chance of success. Every single 100 souls banner created represents endless malevolent karma, piled up into a sea. Li Changsheng at this moment, while gently turning the jade slip in his hand, felt a strange excitement, mixed with mockery. This kind of evil act completely goes against the strict rules of Xuandu Temple. You could even say that if any Xuandu Temple disciple were to see me, I would definitely be judged as demonic and eliminated on the spot to defend the righteous path. However, that excitement quickly gave way to sorrow. He sighed softly and muttered, "It seems the mistress still doesn't completely trust me." The black-robed person, expressionless and cold, replied in a warning tone, "Your future at Xuandu Temple was originally very bright and promising. If the mistress has no influence or leverage over you, how can she truly trust and promote you? This 100 souls banner is a mandatory mission. There's no turning back. You're a smart person. Don't do anything stupid." After hearing this, Li Changsheng clenched the jade slip in his hand. A calculating glint flashed in his eyes. So, the cult mistress is looking for an excuse to completely control me? He quickly came up with an idea. Let's go back to the Moon Palace illusion and give it a try. Let's see if I can use the lives of beasts to refine the 100 souls banner. If it's possible, then, that Li Changxi definitely has a huge problem. And all the crazy things she's ever said might all be true. Even if I can't refine it, it's fine. The most important thing is to get past this dangerous hurdle first. After some analysis, a core question suddenly occurred to him. But Xuandu Temple judges disciples based on merit. Bah! If I force the refining of the 100 souls banner and get discovered by the higher-ups of Xuandu Temple, what will happen? The black-robed person answered Li Changsheng's question decisively and coldly. That's your problem. Then he waved his hand, summoning a spatial vortex. At the same time, he added, however, you don't necessarily have to worry too much about this issue. Who knows? You might not even get past the immediate hurdle. You've underestimated the Bai family. The assassination of Bai Guanlin won't end so easily. The truth may soon be exposed. He said no more, just used a powerful force to push Li Changsheng into the teleportation array. Before disappearing, he managed to remind him, "In short, you'd better take good care of yourself." Very quickly, Li Changsheng was pushed back to the Moon Palace. Immediately, Li Changsheng began to analyze every word and action of the man in black. Although this man in black referred to himself as this old man, and his two arms looked intact, I smelled a very familiar scent. He thought to himself, recognizing a woman by her scent is a basic quality of a good man. That person in black must be the lore elder. But he was extremely confident in his special talent. Before I started cultivating, I never messed up when it came to identifying women by their scent. After starting to cultivate, his 5 senses were quickly enhanced, so this ability also improved dramatically. He continued to deduce. The lore elder is the same as that demon Li Changxi. They both have a weakness that's bone deep and can't be overcome. They're too obsessed with beauty, too focused on their appearance. I even suspect that they themselves don't even know that they have such a special scent. And another extremely important point is that the lore elder is an undercover agent who isn't professional enough. She shouldn't have revealed to me that she knew I had killed Bing Zibing. The truth was revealed, which surprised Li Changsheng, because this matter wasn't supposed to be widely known. Only a few people knew. But the lore elder of Xuandu Temple turned out to be a subordinate of the heavenly demon cult's mistress, the Hewan Saintess. It really is Li Changxi after all. He let out a long sigh. A psychopath, with great power and a strong background. At least she can provide a false sense of security. As for the others, who knows how many faces they have? He took a deep breath and reminded himself, his tone full of bitterness. A simple person like me. To survive in this world full of dangers, I must be extremely careful. In a quiet room, where Li Changsheng was temporarily staying, he sat in meditation, entering an inner illusion to both practice his martial skills and reflect on recent events. His mind was still on the assassination of Bai Guanlin. He recalled the Dharma robe Bai Guanlin was wearing, a treasure with extraordinary auto-protection capabilities that had inadvertently caused him a minor internal injury during the fight. To reach his peak state before dawn, he needed to recover completely and quickly. At the same time, Li Changsheng also had to pre-plan some measures to prevent the Bai family from tracing the clues and discovering the true identity of the assassin. Meanwhile, in another scene, inside the illusion of General Zhang Yuan Sha, the general stood before the Crown Prince of Dali, his expression respectful but unable to hide his worry. He bowed and reported, "Your Highness, your humble servant truly cannot comprehend why that immortal descended at Zhang Yuan Commandery before, and I have no idea of his current whereabouts." The Crown Prince of Dali, with a troubled expression, turned back, his voice filled with desperation. "General Shah, the 5 most elite Grandmaster squads that I painstakingly assembled in the capital were tragically annihilated at Lanky Temple. In this dire situation, that immortal is the last hope for Dali." General Shah eagerly replied, "Your Highness, your humble servant, of course, also yearns for the immortal to appear, to quell the raging beast tide. But truly, Your humble servant has no clue about his whereabouts. He started to get anxious. Is there any way to summon the immortal to appear? The Crown Prince of Dali clenched his hand into a fist, frustration and helplessness clear on his face. If mortals could fend for themselves, I wouldn't be pinning all my hopes on gods and immortals. In the illusion of Jiangyuan Commandery, the current situation of the Dali dynasty was extremely dire. From the emperor down to most of the civil and military officials, everyone had completely given up, drowning themselves in a state of hedonistic despair, day and night waiting for the beasts to breach the palace. Initially, everyone had tried to fight back, but when faced with a beast tide that had completely lost all reason, they were repeatedly defeated gradually, left with no other choice but to wait for death. Only the Crown Prince of Dali, with his youth and resilient will, was not yet willing to submit. He still longed to struggle a little longer. Now, all those in the world who still had the will to fight had gathered around the Crown Prince to fight against the beast tide together. But the situation was still not improving. Meanwhile, a strange rumor about Li Changsheng began to spread, but only in Jiangyuan Commandery. People whispered that an immortal had descended, and he himself had resolved the threat of annihilation for Jiangyuan Commandery. It was just a pity that the immortal came as quickly as he left. As for how to pray for the immortal to return, no one knew. General Shah continued to report on the situation at that time. Your Highness, your humble servant has sent people to investigate everywhere. That day, the immortal's descent followed no pattern whatsoever. Just when your humble servant was at his most desperate, that immortal suddenly appeared. Your humble servant truly does not know how he was summoned, he frantically expressed. General Shah tried to think very carefully again. What happened before the immortal descended? What did you two say to the people around you? Currently, most of the remaining grandmasters of the Dali dynasty, who are still capable of fighting, have already perished at Lanka Temple. Based on the current trend, in less than half a year, Dali will surely follow in the footsteps of the grasslands, becoming a paradise for beasts. That immortal is our only lifeline. The Crown Prince of Dali emphasized his tone urgent. But in such a chaotic situation, General Shah suddenly remembered an important detail. That's right. That day I originally intended to let my daughter leave first. But my little girl refused to leave. She said that if there are demons in this world, then how could there not be immortals? Why isn't any bodhisattva coming to relieve the suffering? What's wrong? I, a faithful devotee, am willing to pay any price just to beg for an immortal to descend and save us from our suffering. General Shah recounted the scene from that time, his voice full of astonishment. And then that immortal descended. Could the appearance of that immortal be related to my daughter? Upon hearing this, the Crown Prince of Dali was overjoyed. He couldn't help but exclaim, "Is that for real? Where is Miss Shah? I will go see Miss Shah in person." He quickly guided this Crown Prince. "This way, Your Highness." Afterward, General Shah and the Crown Prince went to Shah Jiangshui's residence. The Crown Prince of Dali entered the room. His gaze immediately fell on the portrait hanging prominently on the wall. He pressed this. "This is the legendary immortal," General Shah explained from behind. "Since that day, my humble daughter has become the immortal's most loyal follower. She had an artist from Jiangyuan Commandery paint this portrait. Then she comes to pay respects and offer incense every day." The Crown Prince of Dali, hoping to gather more information, finally approached Shah Jiangshui to inquire. "Miss Shah, I have come to ask you to summon the immortal. If you can invite the immortal, you will have done a great service to the Dali Empire." However, she replied sorrowfully, "Your Highness, I cannot contact the immortal." The Crown Prince of Dali, with a desperate and urgent look, urged Miss Shah, "Please try praying again. Who knows? Perhaps somehow you will inadvertently forge a miraculous connection with this noble immortal." "What do you think, yes, General Shah?" Shah Jiangshui's father agreed with the Crown Prince's words. He nodded. "That's right. Jiangshue, don't you remember? That day the immortal manifested, right after your sincere prayer. Why don't you try again?" Seeing the pleading eyes of both men, Shah Jiangshui sighed in compromise. "All right, if your Highness and father insist, I will try once more. But please don't get your hopes up, lest you be disappointed." Then she stood solemnly before the massive portrait of Li Changsheng and began to pray. If this world is truly plagued by rampant demons, then how can there not be immortals and bodhisattvas descending to save all living beings? I, a faithful devotee, am willing to pay any price, if only the immortal would descend and save the people from their suffering. The moment Shah Jiangshui's prayer ended, outside the palace hall a joyous and excited clamor immediately erupted. "The immortal has come again. The immortal has manifested. We're saved. Immortal, may your blessings be eternal." Hearing this, the Crown Prince of Dali's face lit up. Overjoyed, he exclaimed, "Miss Shah, and you said you had no connection to the immortal, huh?" Then the Crown Prince silently schemed. "From now on, Shah Jiangshui is my own mother. I must treat her with the utmost respect. But could it be that the immortal has a taste for beautiful women? Why would he so suddenly answer the summons of a female devotee? If that's truly the case, this could also be a good opportunity." When they rushed outside, they saw Li Changsheng had just appeared in midair. Shah Jiangshui couldn't contain her emotions, falling to her knees and whispering, "Immortal, Li Changsheng, at this time, hadn't noticed anything unusual. On the ground, he was busy plotting his own plan. This time, upon entering the illusionary realm, I want to see if I can both refine the 100 Souls banner and accumulate more merit. At the same time, I'll also check out what this illusionary realm really is. Very quickly, he noticed a thick stench of blood, along with demonic chi and a roiling aura of slaughter, rising from the northwest. Despite the distance of 10,000 miles, it couldn't block the spread of this terrifying demonic chi. Li Changxi once said that a disaster once occurred in the illusionary realm. So if nothing unexpected happens, the source of that demonic chi could be the very epicenter of the apocalypse in this illusionary realm. Li Changsheng analyzed seriously. This kind of aura seems a bit stronger than my current power. A bit risky, so this illusionary realm is much more troublesome than I imagined. While he was lost in thought, he was startled by a sound from below. "Greetings, immortal." All the people of Dali below bowed respectfully, shouting in unison, "We humble subjects greet the immortal's descent. We implore the immortal to save the common people from this disaster." Throughout Dali, everyone bowed day and night, moved to tears of gratitude for the immortal. They watched him slowly descend on a cloud, and he silently observed, "They are all ordinary people. Only a few have slightly stronger auras, but none have even gone through chi refinement. They definitely can't tell that I'm just a late-stage foundation establishment cultivator. As for this 7-colored rainbow cloud, it's just an illusion created by the Jiao Guang Luo." Meanwhile, Li Changsheng spoke calmly. "All of you rise." He turned his gaze to the Crown Prince of Dali. "Are you the one in charge here?" The Crown Prince of Dali replied politely, "Reporting to the immortal, I am the Crown Prince of Dali." Li Changsheng waved his hand, commanding, "Stand up and speak. Now tell me, what has happened in this world of yours?" "I, while patrolling the heavens, discovered that your small world has been afflicted by a beast plague. So I descended with a sliver of my consciousness to investigate." Hearing his words, the Crown Prince of Dali quickly surmised, "Patrolling the heavens." It seems the immortal is truly a peerless expert from the upper realm. Then the Crown Prince asked curiously, "Immortal, are you a true lord from a great sect? Or perhaps an arhat or bodhisattva from the western sect?" Li Changsheng didn't expect him to ask that. He frowned slightly. "Why do you say that?" The Crown Prince of Dali hastily explained, "According to the legends passed down by Lanka Temple, the world we live in is a world subordinate to the 3,000 Buddha realms of the western sect. So I assumed you were a bodhisattva, or arhat from the western sect who had descended." Realizing he had misjudged, he immediately apologized. "So it is the Jade Pure True King of Longevity, the great emperor who unifies the heavenly origin, the holy heavenly venerable of the high supreme divine Empyrean. Please forgive my ignorance, immortal. According to the legends of Lanka Temple, the Emperor Lord is one of the 6 rulers of the 9 heavens. You manifest as the 9 heavens responsive origin thunderous universal, transformation, heavenly venerable, presiding over the Jade Pivot Mansion, commanding the Department of Thunder." He quickly grasped the key information. "Lanka Temple, is that the thing to the north? That seems to be where the most demonic beasts are gathered. Moreover, the demonic chi is dense, not at all like a holy land of the western sect." The Crown Prince of Dali spoke with great sorrow. "Emperor Lord, your divine power is immeasurable. You saw the truth in a single glance. The beast plague indeed originated from Lanka Temple. Wuxin, the divine monk of Lanka Temple, was said to be the reincarnation of an arhat, with a deep connection to Buddhism. Over a year ago, he failed in his ascension to the Buddha realm and has since been demonized, spreading demonic ki throughout the world, causing the beasts of the land to lose their minds. Since then, lives have been devastated and the people have suffered immensely. I once gathered all the grandmasters in the land to storm Lanka Temple, hoping to solve the problem at its root. But sadly, the team of grandmasters was completely wiped out. If the Emperor Lord had not appeared, I'm afraid Dali could only await its doom." Then he fell to his knees, pleading earnestly, "I beg the Emperor Lord to strike to slay the demons and purge the evil. All of Dali will be forever grateful for the Emperor Lord's great kindness, worshipping you day and night. If there is anything the Emperor Lord requires, we humble subjects will do everything in our power to accomplish it. We will absolutely not disappoint the Emperor Lord." Hearing this, Li Changsheng's heart leaped with excitement. He immediately took out his weapon. "Very well. Then this Emperor Lord shall personally make a trip to Lanka Temple." Under the soft light of a lantern, Li Changsheng sat solemnly in his study, engrossed in ancient texts. All information, from the smallest details to important records about Lanka Temple, was contained within the old pages. When he finished reading, a thought flashed through his mind. He confirmed Li Changshi's words that the timeline seems to really take place after the end of the investiture of the gods. The more he immersed himself in the words, the deeper and clearer Li Changsheng's understanding became of the world he had set foot in. he realized that the Western sect was in a period of great prosperity, ruling over the 3,000 Buddha realms. Countless small worlds had become its vassals. These worlds constantly offered up faith and recommended their most talented individuals to the Buddha realms. The small world Li Changsheng was in was no exception. It was just one among countless such tiny worlds. He meticulously read every line, not missing a single piece of information no matter how small. Lanka Temple was described as the most powerful force in this small world, even surpassing the Dali dynasty. The Dali dynasty revered Lanka Temple as its state religion. From the royal family to the common people, all showed absolute obedience and admiration. Wuxin, the divine monk, was once the pillar of this world, recorded as a master, who had reached the peak Grandmaster realm. After synthesizing and analyzing everything, Li Changsheng was able to conclude that, based on the records of a peak Grandmaster's combat power in this world, if there were no unexpected factors, this realm was very similar to the late-stage Foundation establishment cultivation level. He deduced that the main cultivation method propagated here leaned towards body-tempering techniques with a strong wuxia and martial arts flavor. The ultimate power level of this world probably capped out at late-stage Foundation establishment, and if one wanted to break through higher, a cultivator would probably have to leave this world, because it couldn't nurture Golden Core realm experts. But thanks to these deductions, Li Changsheng felt much more at ease. Looked at this way, Lanka Temple is no longer a significant threat to him. Moreover, according to the Crown Prince of Dali, the strongest one, Wuxin, is already dead. The other Grandmasters and Masters have also been basically wiped out. The strongest remaining combat power in this world, if converted to the cultivation system, probably doesn't even reach the Foundation establishment realm. He placed the documents on the shelf, silently planning his next steps. As for the demonic beasts, their leader might be stronger, but mutated animals that have lost their intelligence aren't tough opponents. Therefore, I don't need to worry too much about my personal safety. However, this wasn't the most important thing. What made Li Changsheng more and more excited was the astonishing realism of this world. It's just too real. Why doesn't this feel like an illusionary realm at all? He thought to himself, I'm afraid Li Changxi really has a huge problem. But when Li Changsheng returned, the Crown Prince of Dali saw him and was overjoyed. The Emperor Lord has come out of seclusion. Li Changsheng glanced at the crowd and said confidently, I plan to set out right now. You all just need to stay here and wait for the good news. Hearing this, the Crown Prince respectfully reported, Emperor Lord, we have prepared the dragon chariot. We hope you will grant us the opportunity to serve you. Please let us accompany you. But before anyone could react, he had already executed a lightness skill soaring high into the air. No need, I don't have time. No one knew that Li Changsheng was nursing a secret plan. I'll take this chance to wipe out all the demonic beasts and see if I can successfully forge the 100 Souls banner. He cut to the scene outside Lanka Temple. The stormy sky was filled with roaring thunder and lightning. At this moment, Li Changsheng was looking at his handiwork with satisfaction. So quickly, the demonic beasts outside Lanka Temple have all been killed by me, he thought to himself. Moreover, the beasts of this world can indeed be used to forge the 100 Souls banner. My judgment was correct, but I still have to see if I can take it out of here. Only then can I confirm whether the illusionary realm and reality can truly complement each other. Li Changsheng suddenly became alert, sensing a gloomy dark aura ahead. Inside this Lanka Temple, there really isn't any life signature, but a violent demonic ki is constantly spreading outwards. This place is indeed the source of this world's apocalypse. I've come to the right place. He remained very decisive, his steps firm, ascending the stairs leading into the temple. Having come this far, there's no turning back. Until he witnessed the scene before him, Li Changsheng's face immediately paled with shock. Countless corpses lay scattered on the ground, a scene he had never expected. He exclaimed, This is... Li Changsheng stared intently at the object before him and guessed, an evil Buddha's sharira. He was suddenly reminded of an old legend. Great and virtuous monks often leave behind sharira after their parinirvana. Buddhism believes that sharira are formed through the practice of meritorious deeds, and usually take the form of hard, brilliantly colored beads. Li Changsheng approached the evil Buddha's sharira for a closer look. This is a sharira, but this bead has no brilliant color. Instead, it emits a terrifying black demonic chi carrying a hidden destructive aura within it. It gives people the feeling of wanting to turn and run. He reached out his hand to take it. However, that being said, for a disciple of the heavenly demon sect like myself, this thing is actually quite nourishing. Li Changsheng held the evil Buddha's sharira in his hand, his heart filled with doubt. Is this really the product of the famous divine monk Wuxin? Fragments of shattered memories like a slow-motion film appeared clearly in his mind. Wuxin, a man of tragic origins, was born from the ill-fated love between his parents, a demonic sect leader, hailed as the #1 devil in the world, and his mother a peerless beauty renowned throughout the martial world. Yet a happy family was a distant concept. For Wuxin, on the very day he was born, a terrible disaster struck. His father, in a moment of carelessness, was secretly poisoned by his own mother. That tragic event kicked off a great catastrophe. The mighty demonic sect collapsed in an instant, completely, raised by an alliance of orthodox martial arts sects, vanishing without a trace. Strangely, Wuxin's upbringing was not as arduous as one might imagine, though his fate should have been fraught with peril, thanks to his mother's efforts. He was sent to Lanka Temple to study Buddhism. For 18 long years, Wuxin dedicated himself to arduous training, and finally, he shook the martial world by defeating 18 of his peers in a row, becoming the youngest successor, allowed to leave Lanka Temple. From then on, he roamed the Jianghu, embarking on a path of helping the common folk, aiding the distressed, saving the imperiled, punishing the wicked, and rewarding the good, gradually becoming a divine monk revered by the entire world. However, a cruel twist of fate once again threw Wuxin into a whirlwind of turmoil. When the truth of his identity was revealed, everything changed completely. From a revered divine monk, he was dragged into the abyss by his own demon-tainted past, turned into a great devil that everyone wanted to eliminate. Wuxin was once lost, drowning in utter helplessness. No one was willing to lend a hand. Yet in that very moment of despair, he achieved great enlightenment. He decisively cast aside his butcher's knife, instantly becoming a world-renowned grandmaster. Wuxin steadfastly maintained his principles until his life was spent. After passing away in the Buddha realm, he witnessed a horrifying scene, so chilling it shook his mind to the core. The Buddhas vomited blood, the Buddha realm collapsed, and demonic chi ran rampant everywhere. Before his moment of death, Wuxin screamed his final words, accusing the saint and sect leader, Tathagata, of being a traitor. Everything was recorded in the annals of history, as a warning from the senior Arhat, who had sacrificed his life to interrupt the process of his ascension. That was also the last scene Wuxin witnessed, before collapsing completely. He was then brought back to Lanka Temple, the origin of the demonic chi. From that place it enveloped the ancient temple. Unfortunately, he never had the chance to carry out his senior's last wish. The ascension failed, his spirit scattered, and he was even corrupted by demonic chi, inadvertently implicating the entire world. Li Changsheng continued to stare at the evil Buddha's sharira, shrouded in dark demonic chi. Only after Wuxin's death did the sharira manifest, recording everything he had experienced. It then inadvertently became the source of the apocalypse that was engulfing this world. The more he thought, the stranger it felt. If this isn't an illusionary realm, if this is truly the world of the investiture of the gods, then what Wuxin saw could very well be a civil war within the Western sect. Tathagata is a traitor to the Western sect. How is that possible? He questioned himself. After all, Tathagata is the Buddha of Buddhism, while the Western sect has two supreme saints, Jieyin and Junti. Now Li Changsheng wondered with doubt, could it be that Li Changxi isn't crazy at all? And everything she said is true. However, he wasn't too bothered by it. Right or wrong. For now, those things have nothing to do with him. He was still too weak right now. The most important thing now is to accumulate merit and quickly raise his cultivation level. But as the first rays of the new day's sun crested the mountaintop, it was also time for Li Changsheng to leave Lanka Temple. A moment later, he was utterly astonished as he looked at the items in his hands. The completed 100 Souls banner and the evil Buddha's sharira. He was able to bring them all out. Li Changsheng pondered and assessed. The 100 Souls banner and the evil Buddha's sharira. I was in the illusionary realm for at least a day, yet only a second has passed in the real world. But the important thing is the merit I gained is all real. He also realized the great potential. The 100 Souls banner can use the demonic chi from the evil Buddha's sharira. Moreover, the evil Buddha's sharira can also help me cultivate the demonic desire sutra that the sect leader's wife gave me. He immediately held the two items in his hands, driven by the demonic desire sutra. The black chi surrounding the evil Buddha's sharira gradually weakened, and the demonic desire sutra, passed down by the sect leader's wife, began to circulate automatically in his body. Demonic desire sutra, the technique the sect leader's wife gave me. Sounds a bit sketchy, Li Changsheng mumbled. He suddenly remembered receiving a jade slip before. Previously, the scripture-transmitting elder on the orders of the sect leader's wife gave me a jade slip containing the demonic desire sutra. That jade slip not only contained the demonic desire sutra, but also included other demonic cultivation manuals, along with refining methods and materials for magical artifacts of a sinister nature. Clearly, the sect leader's wife wants him to master all of this, to sever all ties with the heavenly demon sect. Only then can she use and guide him with peace of mind. He silently analyzed the items in his hands. These things are fine. The cultivation techniques are fine, and so are the magical artifacts. They are all harmless, as long as one's heart is set on good, no matter what is practiced. Any demonic art can certainly be used to serve the people. Although the demonic desire sutra doesn't sound like a righteous technique, its effect after mastery is merely to arouse the hidden desires and demonic thoughts deep in others' hearts. Li Changsheng remained extremely wary. But with the sect leader's abuse of power, I don't dare not practice it. Immediately after Li Changsheng closed his eyes, focusing on the dense demonic chi radiating around him. What's more, he mumbled, the evil Buddha's sharira left by Wuxin hides a huge amount of demonic chi. Thanks to that, the Demonic Desire Sutra, just by absorbing the demonic chi from the Sharira, has reached the minor accomplishment stage, in an instant. He then continued to observe, the jade slip his face showing a look of evaluation. Arouse the desires and demonic thoughts in others' hearts. This kind of technique seems really rather tasteless. Li Changsheng smirked slightly. For someone filled with righteous chi, with a pure and honest soul, who uses morality as my guide, and is dedicated to the people like me, this kind of evil art is completely useless. It will have no effect on me at all. He tightened his grip on the jade slip. A silent plan began to form in his mind. I need to find a suitable opportunity to test it on. Li Changxi? Next, Li Changsheng sat down and began to check his cultivation state. Let's check my chi and blood situation. A satisfied smile appeared on his lips. Excellent. The murderous aura has become a bit uncontrollable. It has evolved from a river of blood into a sea of blood. This proves that I have indeed slaughtered millions of living beings. His feeling was not wrong. That was indeed the case. Even if they were demonic beasts that had lost their intelligence, they were still living beings. At the same time, the merit, ki in his body also began to become difficult to control. But according to a rough estimate, the current amount of merit is enough for him to advance to the golden core realm. Although it would most likely be the weakest golden core in history, it was still a golden core. Just then, Li Changxi's loud call came from outside. Junior brother opened the door for me. Li Changsheng quickly stood up, opened the door, and welcomed her. Senior sister, please come in. Li Changxi got straight to the point. Junior brother, I know you are a Daluo heavenly emperor, who fought to the death to escape the investiture of the gods, but your killing intent is truly too strong. How dare you massacre so many people at Xuandu Temple? Why couldn't you wait until you left the mountain to make your move? Li Changsheng had anticipated that. He couldn't hide it. Li Changxi murder is inherently difficult to conceal. If Xuandu Temple can't decide the life and death of its disciples, how can it call itself the #1 immortal sect? But those people pushed me to the brink. What else could I do but be forced to strike back? Next, Li Changsheng did his best to reassure his senior sister. This is just a small matter, sister. Unlike me, you are a Daluo quasi-saint who attained the Tao in the ancient, primordial era. Then he explained slowly, in the primordial era, spiritual chi was abundant and resources were plentiful. But the number of living beings was not too large, so ascending to the Daluo realm was not too difficult. Li Changsheng found a solid argument for his reasoning. By the time I attained the Tao, the order of the primordial era had been established. The saints reigned high above, but the number of myriad spirits began to explode, uncontrollably. If I didn't kill others, others would kill me. There was no other way. I could only be forced to fight back. Convinced by his words, Li Changxi nodded. What you say makes sense. Indeed, later on, Dalos like you were all more ruthless than anyone else. In the investiture of the gods, the Tao ancestor and the saints only bestowed 6 golden positions, yet Hyoqian directly took one. Saints' disciples, Daluo disciples. The human emperor's subordinates, the old remnants of the Wu clan. Millions of cultivators scrambled for the 5 remaining Daluo positions. Junior brother, your blood debt is even greater than mine. Li Changxi recalled her own past. When I attained the Tao, one could still freely attain the Daluo Tao. It's just that now this is an illusionary realm after all. For you to be so ruthless, junior brother, I'm really worried I can't protect you. Hearing Li Changxi's words, Li Changsheng fell into deep thought. He thought to himself, if only the others at Xuandu Temple could communicate as sincerely as Li Changxi, that would be great. However, none of that matters. The important thing was that he immediately proposed an idea. Senior sister, I was forced to act this way for a reason. A major incident may have occurred in the primordial immortal world. So we must quickly seize the time, break this illusionary realm, and return to the primordial immortal world. Otherwise, the consequences will be dire. Li Changxi was shocked when she heard this. Junior brother, what did you discover? Li Changsheng quickly explained. Senior sister, as soon as I entered the illusionary world, I discovered that one of the worlds was a small world, a vassal to the 3,000 Buddha realms of the Western sect. Then he recounted the events he had just witnessed. Not long after that, illusionary world was violently ravaged by demons, and its civilization was on the brink of collapse. I solved the source of the apocalypse in that world and discovered some earth-shattering secrets. He just kept bullshitting his way through it. I investigated the source of the demons, causing turmoil in that small world, and found that, in fact, the Buddha realm that the small world was a vassal to had suffered a serious internal rebellion, and in that Buddha realm, the final words of an Arhat before his parinirvana were relayed. The saint and sect leader Tathagata is a traitor. Unsurprisingly, Li Changxi replied calmly, there's nothing strange about that. Her unusually calm reaction stunned Li Changsheng. Not strange, senior sister if I'm not mistaken. Buddha Tathagata is the current supreme Buddha of the Western sect. Apart from the 2 sect leader, saints of the noble Western sect, Tathagata, the Buddha holds absolute decision-making power in the sect. For him to betray the Western sect, and that's not strange. Li Changxi remained as nonchalant as ever, explaining casually, of course it's not strange. You said it yourself. Besides the two saint sect leaders, only Tathagata has the most important say in the Western sect. So who would want to be forever under the thumb of those two saints? She analyzed seriously, each word seeming to carve itself into Li Changsheng's mind. A saint is just a more powerful Dalwo Golden, immortal. Fundamentally, they are in the same realm as a quasi-saint. And a quasi-saint who doesn't want to become a saint is truly just trash. Tathagata is certainly not trash. We long to become saints, and so does he. But through Li Changxi's narrative, the picture of the primordial world gradually became clearer and more detailed. Currently, the order of the primordial world is firmly established. The Tao ancestor is supreme. The saints are immortal and indestructible. Quasi-saints are transcendent beyond the material. And only after them come the various celestial gods and other positions. This order is extremely rigid, and every step up is incredibly arduous. The Tao ancestor has set the hierarchy, each person with a specific position. A quasi-saint who wants to advance to the saint realm needs another saint to vacate their position. And if a saint wants to go even further, to reach an even higher realm, then there needs to be a vacancy in the Tao ancestor's position. Hearing this, Li Changsheng couldn't help but let out a sigh of admiration. Whether Li Changxi was actually mentally ill or not, what she said carried an undeniable truth for him. He even began to doubt whether Li Changxi was really as insane as he'd thought. Continuing, Li Changsheng pretended to have understood everything. He said, "I understand what you mean, senior sister. Tathagata wants to take another step, to replace the two saints of the Western sect. Having two vacant saint positions is definitely a good thing, at least for us. So, senior sister, you've decided to help Tathagata, haven't you?" Li Changxi became even more pleased, replying with a radiant smile. "Junior brother, you really are on the same page as me. We are both Dalwo Golden immortals. If quasi-saints like us want to go further, to become true saints, then of course a few saints have to fall first. Anyone with the ambition to become a saint is our ally." Suddenly, Li Changsheng felt an irresistible curiosity. How are we going to help? She quickly laid out her carefully calculated plan. As long as we can break this illusionary realm, the flaws of Saint Junti will naturally be exposed. And if Tathagata dares to plot for a saint's position, he must have the backing of other saints behind him. At this moment, Li Changxi was so excited her body trembled. "Junior brother, you're right. The primordial immortal world is on the brink of great chaos. An earth-shattering holy war is about to erupt. If a few saints fall in the primordial, immortal world this time, then we will all have a chance to take another step forward." She excitedly detailed her plan. "I control the tie-in star, and you, junior brother, are one of the 6 emperors of the heavenly court. As long as we can return in time, we will form a super strong alliance. In this great chaos, you and I will become the key force that decides the balance of power in the primordial immortal world. And we have a chance to be the final victors. Junior brother, you absolutely cannot die here. This time I will definitely protect you." "Wise senior sister." Just then, an unexpected voice rang out, startling them both. "Li Changsheng, come with us. Your deeds have been exposed." He quickly recognized it was the voice of the law enforcement elder of the discipline hall. However, he knew his person had nothing to worry about. Li Changxi showed no fear, calmly reassuring Li Changsheng. "Junior brother, don't panic. This is just an illusionary realm. Those people have outlived their usefulness, so just kill them. I'll take care of everything." Li Changsheng turned to her and affirmed, "Senior sister, what is there that I haven't seen through? How could I possibly panic?" Li Changxi became even more confident. Li Changsheng chuckled happily. "Junior brother is right. In the first investiture of the gods, you single-handedly charged with your blade, slaughtering your way from the southern heavenly gate straight to the Mirador Palace, making more than half the heavenly court bleed. Compared to this small scene before us, it's truly not worth mentioning." Suddenly, he noticed something unusual. He turned his head to look in one direction. As he walked, Li Changsheng thought to himself, "Actually, I'm not scared at all." But when I heard Li Changxi talk about the great emperor of Antarctic longevity being so powerful, I suddenly did feel a little scared. He clasped his hands together, sincerely praying, "Great Emperor of Longevity up high. I am Li Changsheng. I have absolutely no intention of impersonating you." It was all senior sister Li Changxi's words. "In my heart, I have nothing but reverence for you." From a distance, Li Changsheng recognized the figure of the law enforcement elder and quickly calculated in his head. "The law enforcement elder of the discipline hall is on our side. Previously, he and I worked together perfectly to frame Bai Guanlin, but I still have to show some courtesy." With that thought, he strode forward and respectfully clasped his hands in a salute. Smiling, he said, "Greetings, elder. You're looking even more handsome, even more so than during the day." The law enforcement elder was already annoyed. Hearing these flattering words, he grew even angrier. Veins popped on his forehead. He pointed at Li Changsheng and growled, "Cut the sweet talk. Now, hurry up and tell me about the good deed you just did." Li Changsheng maintained his innocent expression, his eyes clear as he replied, "Disciple. Doesn't understand what elder is talking about." The elder rubbed his temples. He looked at Li Changsheng with conflicting feelings. He was forced to admit, "Your Tao heart is indeed firm. Truly a once-in-a-generation talent for cultivation. But deep down, he was nearly driven mad by Li Changsheng's innocent act. Li Changxi hurried to follow but was stopped by him. "The temple master has ordered you to be confined here, you hear me?" But she flatly denied it. "Does that matter right now? The Bai family wants to harm my junior brother. I absolutely cannot stand by." Changxi started spouting nonsense, making his head spin. "You're really insane. Your illness is getting harder and harder to cure." A moment later, they arrived at the Peak Master's main hall. The high-ranking members were all present to reprimand him. A member of the Bai family spoke up. "Li Changsheng, do you admit your guilt?" He just smiled cheerfully and replied, "Greetings, honorable sect masters." The sect master questioned, "Where were you tonight?" He quickly replied, "I have been cultivating in the Jiaoguang Luo." Huan Changxi also spoke up to confirm, "I can testify." The elder of the Bai family shouted, "Still stubborn even at death's door." "Li Changsheng, are you aware that all the disciples who were with Bai Guanlin causing you trouble during the day are dead, and Bai Guanlin has also been assassinated?" Li Changsheng feigned extreme surprise, his eyes widening. How could such a thing happen? Within Xuandu Temple, how could such a terrible thing occur? How could this happen? Don't you know perfectly well? Everyone involved in this incident had a grudge against you. Li Changsheng, how do you explain this? But Li Changsheng remained calm, unflinching. Deep down, he knew exactly what to do. To continue the masterfully staged act. "Honorable Temple Master, please see the truth. This is clearly a despicable plot to frame me. I humbly suspect the mastermind is none other than Bai Guanlin himself." Li Changsheng spoke, his tone decisive yet still respectful. He knew better than anyone that, in this precarious situation, silence or confession would be the end. He silently recited the common saying, "Confess for leniency to life in prison. Resist stubbornly. Come back next year, turn the tables, earn merits and rewards. Turn black into white, and justice will prevail." A clear strategy had already formed in his mind. With a look of utmost sincerity, Li Changsheng continued to speak, his tone laced with respect and a slight tremor. Reporting to the High Temple Master, "This disciple absolutely dares not hide anything. I come from a poor background alone, and without support. Setting foot in the renowned Xuandu Temple for the first time, I have only dared to live cautiously careful with every step. How would I dare to carelessly make enemies with anyone, let alone commit a heinous crime like murder to silence someone, a crime that this disciple wouldn't dare to think of, even in his dreams?" Then Li Changsheng's expression changed. His eyes welled with tears filled with utter grievance. He gritted his teeth, suppressing his indignation as he accused, "I have another important matter to report. In broad daylight, Bai Guanlin led a group of people to brazenly bully me. This incident was not only witnessed by the law enforcement elder of the discipline hall, but thankfully, thanks to the impartiality of the law enforcement elder, I was able to preserve my last shred of dignity. Therefore, I venture to guess that surely Bai Guanlin held a grudge, unwilling to accept his failure, which is why he intentionally staged this clumsy act to frame me." From the side, Li Changxi couldn't help but sigh. Her eyes, red-rimmed, looked at Li Changsheng with pity. "So that's how it is. The people of the Bai family are truly no good. My poor junior brother." Faced with Li Changsheng's suggestive words and tears, the temple master and the law enforcement elder were rendered helplessly silent, unable to utter a word. The members of the Bai family present were also speechless, unable to find any words to rebut. Never mind Li Changxi. She was already famous for her unstable mental state, so everyone was used to her strange words. But what about Li Changsheng, a newly initiated disciple, from a humble background, yet he could speak such sharp words? Not missing the opportunity, Li Changsheng immediately seized it, proactively raising his head to ask the temple master directly, his tone somewhat bold but full of confidence. Reporting to the temple master, "This disciple ventures to guess, is it possible that Bai Guanlin is not actually dead?" The temple master, after a meaningful cough, confirmed, "Indeed, he is not dead." Hearing the confirmation, Li Changsheng's expression turned to one of extreme exasperation. He criticized sharply, each word like a dagger. "The one who had a direct conflict with me that day was Bai Guanlin. And yet, the ones who died were his innocent underlings, while Bai Guanlin himself is perfectly fine. With such a clumsy, unbelievably crude act, why would anyone believe that I was the one who did it? Even if I wanted revenge, my only target could be Bai Guanlin. What does it have to do with those nameless followers? The killer behind this scene has not only gravely insulted my dignity, but has also brazenly insulted the intelligence of all of us. This is something I absolutely cannot accept." 3. Li Changsheng sadly rubbed his temples, his voice filled with disappointment. "What is this place? This is Xuandu Temple, the #1 immortal sect under heaven. Who would dare to commit murder to silence someone right within the grounds of Xuandu Temple without leaving a trace? But moreover, after I returned, my senior sister gave me a stern lecture, warning me not to confront the Bai family, a family that even the temple master dares not to underestimate. So what am I, a lowly nobody, to dare cause trouble? I originally thought I would have to swallow this utter humiliation. Could it be that the Bai family can't even grant me a shred of forgiveness?" Li Changxi, at his side, spoke with a tone that was blunt to the point of being cold, refuting his naive point of view. Junior brother, you're wrong about that. You think the Bai family will let you go just because you've admitted your weakness? No. The Bai family wants to kill you, not because you did anything wrong to them, but because you got in Bai Guanlin's way. These two things are completely unrelated. Li Changsheng's body trembled with rage. His fists clenched until they turned white. He roared, his voice choked with indignation. So the weak are just meant to be bullied. Just because Bai Guanlin was born into the noble Bai family, should I just go and kill myself? To get out of his way, his ultimate indignation exploded into a loud shout, reverberating throughout the great hall. I just want to cultivate in peace. Why is even such a simple thing so unattainable? Why won't they just leave me alone? Li Changsheng's voice, filled with utter grievance, echoed through the corridors of Xuandu Temple like an irrefutable accusation. This is clearly a blatant frame-up, yet all of you pretend not to see it, and even solemnly convene a 3-hall joint trial to convict me. This is utterly ironic and ridiculous. Does this Xuandu Temple still have any law? Any justice left? Could it be that in Xuandu Temple, anyone from the powerful aristocratic families can just frame, slander, and throw dirt on others without any restraint? I absolutely refuse to accept this. Seeing Li Changsheng's increasingly aggressive attitude, the temple master frowned slightly, his tone carrying a hint of a warning. Li Changsheng, you have the right to defend yourself, but don't blow things out of proportion. Keep it in check. Without a moment's hesitation, Li Changsheng immediately continued his defense, his tone a mix of helplessness and indignation. Reporting to the temple master, please see the truth. I am just a poor child, born from the common folk. I don't even know the faces of the people who followed Bai Guanlin, let alone being able to kill them, without leaving a single trace, without alerting anyone. How could a disciple possess such astonishing power? That's right. I'd like to ask the temple master, where exactly did those people die? And how did they die? Faced with Li Changsheng's sharp question, the temple master recounted the details of the incident, each word like a hammer blow to the ears of those listening. They died in Bai Guanlin's cave residence, and the cause of death was determined to be from drinking Bai Guanlin's spirit wine. The wine contained a potent poison. Hearing this, the frustration and indignation in Li Changsheng's heart erupted like a volcano. He angrily criticized, his voice thundering with outrage. They drank Bai Guanlin's wine, died in Bai Guanlin's own cave residence. And yet in the end, you all turn around and pin the crime of murder on me. Does this Xuandu Temple have any reason, any fairness left? I absolutely refuse to accept this. Li Changxi once again reminded Li Changsheng, Junior brother, just drop it. Being bullied by the Bai family, for lowly people like us, can be considered a kind of honor. Just endure it a little longer. Why do you keep refusing to submit? Li Changsheng couldn't hold it in any longer and burst into tears. His voice was choked with bitterness. I used to believe that Xuandu Temple would be different from other places, that here at least there was something called justice and righteousness. Right at the moment Li Changsheng was sinking into despair, the law enforcement elder, who had been silent all this time, let out an authoritative cough from behind him. His next words were like a cold, sharp blade, causing Li Changsheng's entire body to freeze on the spot. All his resistance seemed to be frozen solid. Yanhei Peak has an immortal artifact called the Demon Detecting Mirror. Its replica has clearly recorded the scene of you transforming into Bai Guanlin and entering. Li Changsheng was lost in thought when he was suddenly jolted as if struck by lightning. A sense of disbelief welled up. What the hell? They have security cameras. He quickly focused, observing the expressions of everyone around him. In a world of Xiangxia, filled with magic and mystery, the appearance of a camera, surveillance system wasn't too ridiculous, was it? This made him feel no different from a thug, caught on camera. He suddenly understood why the temple masters were looking at him with such meaningful gazes. Perhaps even they had already seen the footage. Li Changsheng couldn't help but reminisce about his days in the modern world. At the end of the universe where he used to work, whenever a similar incident occurred, surveillance footage was always the first piece of evidence to be widely released. The footage obtained from Xuandu Temple, if it really existed, was truly hair-raising. Clearly these people don't play by the rules, acting as they please. After a month of contemplation, he cleared his throat, trying to regain his composure. Li Changsheng showed no fear, strongly retorting, a demon-detecting mirror only detects demons. What does that have to do with me? Besides, isn't the demon-detecting mirror a fake? A law enforcement elder was extremely surprised by his defiant attitude. It's come to this, and you're still stubbornly arguing. Some members of the Bai family couldn't help but laugh at Li Changsheng's stubbornness. One Li Changsheng continued to mock, you really are a country bumpkin, completely ignorant. From his opponent's words, he quickly analyzed, very good. I'll remember this. With this guy's cultivation level, he won't die anytime soon. After I leave the mountain, I'll use this mask to become a demonic cultivator. At that time, it won't be unjust if I kill you. However, Li Changsheng frowned, questioning coldly, who are you? The opponent introduced himself, this old man is Zhang Bokan. Hearing this, he bluntly criticized, so you're not even surnamed Bai. Are you one of the Bai family's dogs? At that moment, Li Changxi gently chimed in from above. His wife's surname is Bai. Li Changsheng replied without any restraint. So he married into the Bai family? No wonder he's willing to be a lackey. Zhang Bokan was provoked until his face turned purple, but he still managed to remain calm and say, Li Changsheng, this old man will teach you a secret that only the strong are privy to. He rambled on, explaining, all things have spirits. After gaining intelligence, they are all called Yao demons, including the human race. It's just that later great human powers emerged one after another. Under the leadership of the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors, the human race broke away from the demon race, becoming an independent race. But the demon-detecting mirror can still reveal one's former true form. As for the authenticity of the demon-detecting mirror, it cannot be faked. This is an obvious fact that everyone knows. Only ignorant country bumpkins like you wouldn't know. 1. Li Changxi glanced at Zhang Bokan and retorted, so why can't the demon-detecting mirror be faked? Her next words made Zhang Bokan jump in fright. But why do I remember that the first time it was used on me, the demon-detecting mirror made a mistake? Zhang Bokan looked up at her and shouted, reminding Sect Master Li, watch your words. Li Changxi observed his reaction, remarking sharply, Zhang Bokan, you seem to be afraid. Zhang Bokan fell silent, thinking to himself, how could I not be afraid? What Li Changxi said is a massive secret of Xuandu Temple. It absolutely cannot be revealed. The person who died that year was the son of Fairy Linglong, but Li Changxi was unharmed. The story behind this is too deep. Besides Li Changxi, no one dares to touch it. But in the meantime, Li Changxi calmly continued her words. That year, on my wedding night, my husband suddenly passed away. According to the image reflected by the demon-detecting mirror, I was the one who murdered my husband. Hearing this, Li Changsheng helplessly put his hand to his forehead. He thought to himself, this mental illness is about to flare up again. Even I can't stand it. Then she recounted the story from that year. But in the end, my mother personally confirmed that the demon-detecting mirror had made a mistake. It wasn't me who did it. If the demon-detecting mirror can be wrong once, can it be wrong a second time? But furthermore, are you doubting my mother's judgment? 1. Li Changsheng stood to the side and couldn't help but praise her in his heart. Senior sister is the GOAT. I thought I myself was the pinnacle of turning black into white, but I didn't expect Li Changxi to be even more unreasonable than me. Fairy Linglong is also more protective of her daughter than I imagined. She could even help Li Changxi clear her name in this matter. Very good. I like this kind of big thigh, one that can provide solid protection. But Zhang Bokan still tried to refute Li Changxi. Whether you did it that year or not, we all know the truth in our hearts. Temple Master Linglong covered for you, because that person was too rebellious. After drinking, he even complained about Fairy Linglong. Before he could finish, Li Changxi cut him off. It seems you're suspecting my mother of mixing public and private affairs, huh? How about I ask her to come out and explain a little? Hearing this, Zhang Bokan shouted, I won't argue with you about these things. Li Changsheng transformed into Bai Guanlin and entered and exited Bai Guanlin's room. The demon-detecting mirror saw this clearly. Li Changxi stopped twisting the truth. Seeing him assert this so confidently, she calmly suggested, the image is that clear, huh? All right, then bring out the demon-detecting mirror and let me see. Immediately after, the Temple Master clapped his hands lightly, and the demon-detecting mirror was brought forth. On it, the image of Li Changsheng disguised as Bai Guanlin was clearly visible. He looked towards Li Changxi, silently urging, come on, big backer. She did not disappoint Li Changsheng's trust, asserting with complete certainty, I believe this image is an illusion. Bokan, hearing this, questioned, then what do you believe? Li Changxi calmly replied, look at the demon-detecting mirror again. Upon seeing the scene on it, he and the people of the Bai family were all stunned. What? Even the Temple Master was extremely surprised. What the hell is this? The image reflected by the demon-detecting mirror. It can actually be changed. Currently on the demon-detecting mirror, the true image of Bai Guanlin was being displayed. His face was clearly visible on it. At that moment, the Temple Master couldn't help but be astonished. Li Changxi's illusionary arts have advanced another step. This is turning reality into falsehood. The Temple Master was utterly astonished, unable to speak, and had to exclaim, turning reality into falsehood. This event was far beyond any normal explanation. The more he thought about it, the more incomprehensible it became. A strangely familiar feeling, as if words become law had happened right before his eyes. Could it be that Changxi's cultivation has progressed to an unbelievable extent? How is that possible? Could it be that illusionary arts really have the ability to interfere with and distort reality? The Temple Master suddenly recalled the rumors that often circulated in their circles. Could those rumors be true? If one day Li Changxi truly becomes invincible, won't this entire world be turned into an illusion by her? At that point, we would be the crazy ones, and she alone would be the normal one. A vague fear began to creep into his mind. But meanwhile, Li Changsheng, hidden behind a calm exterior, was filled with deep conviction. He thought to himself, Zhao Guang is indeed the #1 illusion under heaven. Whether others accept it or not, I completely acknowledge it. Just believe in the power of belief. Now he was beginning to truly admire Li Changxi. Clearly, Li Changxi's cultivation had not yet reached the realm of words become law. commanding the rain and wind, where whatever she says goes. But she was already able to begin the process of turning reality into falsehood, making her illusions directly affect reality. This proved her limitless potential. Just then, Li Changxi winked, signaling to Li Changsheng. He immediately understood. Without hesitation, he quickly spoke up to object, his tone full of indignation. Nonsense. There's no such thing as turning reality into falsehood. An illusion will always be just an illusion. It can never become reality. Besides, who in Xuandu Temple doesn't know that my senior sister is the weakest among the 8 sect masters? How could she possibly show off in front of an expert, performing illusionary arts in front of a temple master, as brilliant as him? You people in your desire to turn black into white have truly lost all shame, all face. Seeing Li Changsheng's perfect cooperation, Li Changxi was even more pleased. She thought to herself, no wonder junior brother is the great emperor of Antarctic longevity. Full of schemes and tricks. Just one glance, and within seconds he understood my meaning. The cooperation is truly flawless. Seizing the momentum, she continued, her tone slightly sarcastic. You all flatter me. If I could really deceive the senses of the demon-detecting mirror, then I truly would be the reincarnation of the Taiyin Star Lord. Do you believe that? Immediately, the audience below began to murmur. The disciples whispered among themselves, could this really be a frame-up? The demon-detecting mirror. If it were the real demon-detecting mirror immortal artifact, there would certainly be no mistakes. But the real demon-detecting mirror is in the hands of the true Lord of pure origin and wondrous Tao in the primordial immortal world. The one on top of Yanhei Peak is just a replica. Moreover, it's something that senior sister Linglong seized from the demon race. If it was something seized by senior sister Linglong, the possibility of the Bai family tampering with it also becomes very reasonable. At least this is much more reasonable than Li Changxi being the reincarnation of the Taiyin Star. Li Changsheng's arguments initially seemed to be ignored by everyone. The fact that those people drank Bai Guanlin's wine and died in Bai Guanlin's own room, yet Li Changsheng was accused of murdering them himself, already contained a clear contradiction. Seeing the situation turning in his favor, the temple master was overjoyed. He said with a profound look, anything that fears overthinking was originally something that under the demon-detecting mirror, nothing could escape its sight. However, when Li Changxi cleverly proved that even the replica of the demon-detecting mirror could be faked, those who were already suspicious of the Bai family, staging everything, quickly gained the upper hand. In the debate, a reason to protect Li Changsheng had clearly emerged, so the temple master coughed lightly, startling the central branch master sitting next to him. After the meaningful ahem, she spoke up, contributing her opinion with a serious expression. Honorable temple master, it seems this matter is indeed full of suspicious points. We cannot easily convict Li Changsheng to avoid wronging a good person and discouraging other disciples. Li Changsheng, hearing someone stand up for him, was overjoyed. He clasped his hands and said, thank you, Central Branch Master, for your understanding. The temple master went along with everyone's reaction, speaking in a righteous tone, carrying authority and fairness. The Central Branch Master's words are very reasonable. It seems we really need to reinvestigate thoroughly. By the way, I still have one thing that isn't clear. Wasn't Bai Guanlin just punished by the law enforcement hall this morning? Locked in his room for 3 days of self-reflection this morning, the law enforcement elder quickly stepped forward, bowing to reporting to the temple master. This matter is indeed true. The temple master continued his questioning, his sharp gaze fixed directly on Zhang Boking. So according to you, Bai Guanlin went down the mountain. Zhang Boking hesitated for a long moment, sweat beading on his forehead, before finally trying to explain in a weak tone. Esteemed temple master, there must be a misunderstanding in this. The temple master, as the one presiding over the judgment, didn't let Zhang Boking equivocate. He stated decisively, if it's a misunderstanding, it's best to clear it up. All of us here are waiting for a clear explanation. Why would Bai Guanlin, who was supposed to be in his room, reflecting on his mistakes, carelessly run down the mountain? Or did Bai Guanlin not actually go down the mountain at all, and it was Bai Guanlin himself who orchestrated all of this, and is now trying to throw dirt on Li Changsheng's name? Li Changsheng seized the opportunity to question them as well, his tone dripping with sarcasm and eloquence. Bai Guanlin coincidentally went down the mountain. Then I coincidentally took on Bai Guanlin's appearance, and Bai Guanlin's followers coincidentally died in Bai Guanlin's room. Bai Guanlin was assassinated, but coincidentally survived by a miracle, and I get accused of assassinating Bai Guanlin right here at Xuandu Temple, but coincidentally wasn't caught in the act. Hey, Zhang Boking, you guys, trying to cook up such blatant lies, must be exhausting, isn't it? Upon hearing this, Zhang Boking's face immediately turned pale. He cursed silently. Damn it, you're kicking him while he's down? If I admit Bai Guanlin was down the mountain, while under reflection, then it means Bai Guanlin violated the sect rules. His crime would be compounded. Zhang Boking was caught in a dilemma, hesitating, not knowing which choice to make. But if he didn't admit Bai Guanlin went down the mountain, then this whole incident would be attributed to Bai Guanlin, himself a self-scripted, self-directed drama, whether he admitted it or not. Bai Guanlin was going to suffer, but between two evils he had to choose the lesser, clearly framing someone. was a much more serious crime than violating sect rules. After a moment of deliberation, he reluctantly reported, his tone forced. Bai Guanlin did indeed go down the mountain. Hearing the confirmation, the temple master proposed with a resolute expression. Regardless of whether Li Changsheng actually killed someone or not, Bai Guanlin knew the sect rules, and yet intentionally broke the law. This crime must be compounded. Relying on his noble family background, he has shown complete disregard for the sect rules. This must be severely punished as an example. Zhang Baoqing, unwilling to concede, immediately retorted, trying to shift the focus. Li Changxi did the same thing. She is also under confinement by the temple master, yet she comes and goes as she pleases. If the law enforcement elder is to preside over justice, then both should be punished. Otherwise, it will be hard to win over the masses and maintain fairness within the sect. Then Li Changxi was seen not flustered or afraid at all, but confidently offering to accept her punishment. I was wrong. I will accept the penalty. Esteemed temple master, please deduct my merit points. Deduct a lot of them, and then do the same to Bai Guanlin. Hearing this, Zhang Baoqing's face turned even grayer. He cursed in his heart. Damn it! Where the hell does this psycho get so much merit? My Bai family's strong suit isn't in merit. Then Zhang Baoqing silently made a careful calculation. Besides, the merit my Bai family has painstakingly accumulated can't just be transferred to Xuandu Temple over such a trivial matter. Anyway, Bai Guanlin won't die over this. It's a small thing. Fine, I'll just accept it. He finally decided to accept Li Changxi's proposal. But in the meantime, the law enforcement elder persisted with his questioning. Why did Bai Guanlin leave the mountain without permission? While under confinement, Zhang Baoqing was forced to explain the situation. At that time, the boy had fallen into someone else's trap. He had received a note earlier. The message on it caused him to misjudge, which created an opportunity for Gui Changsheng to kill the witnesses and silence them. Just then, the temple master calmly took out a carefully folded piece of paper. He then asked with a meaningful look, "Is this it?" When Li Changsheng saw it, he immediately recognized it. He inwardly cheered with delight. Yes, that's the one. My handwriting actually ended up in the temple master's hands. This is perfect. He determined that the people of the Bai family, to dare oppose the temple master so openly, must have a great deal of hidden power. But no matter what, the temple master is still the temple master. Even if Fairy Linglong herself appeared, Xuandu Temple is still the temple master's home turf, and the ultimate authority still belongs to him. Next, the temple master read the contents of the note aloud, his voice echoing throughout the great hall so that everyone could hear. I am a disciple of the heavenly demon sect, a mole in Xuandu Temple. I wish to leave the darkness and join the light, but I fear Xuandu Temple will not accept me. If young Master Bai is willing to protect me, I can help young Master Bai frame Li Changsheng as a spy for the heavenly demon sect. Furthermore, I have evidence of the temple master's collusion with the higher-ups of the heavenly demon sect. If young Master Bai is sincere, please come down the mountain to the Qingfeng Inn to talk. Tonight at midnight. Be there or be square. Remember to come alone, otherwise I will not show myself. When the temple master finished reading, the entire space fell into dead silence. At this moment, Li Changsheng continued his performance, shouting with extreme indignation, "It really is a frame-up! Just because Bai Guanlin is from the Bai family, and I come from a poor background, and I happen to get in young Master Bai's way, I am being so blatantly framed by young Master Bai and the heavenly demon sect mole. It's just like that. Where is the law? Where is justice? Temple Master, I'm tired. If my offense against the Bai family is an unforgivable crime, then I will plead guilty. I beg the Temple Master to grant me death for release." The temple master, seeing the drama in Li Changsheng's performance, understood the emotion he wanted to convey. He reassured him with a warm and tolerant tone. "Silly boy, you don't need to be so indignant. It's not just you. Even I haven't escaped being framed. But their methods are truly a bit crude and clumsy." The temple master looked down below, his sharp gaze sweeping across the crowd. He questioned, "This note was found on Bai Guanlin's person. Is that correct?" Zhang Baoqing immediately spoke up without hesitation, accusingly, trying to salvage the situation. Bai Guanlin suspects that Li Changsheng planted that note on him during the day. Therefore, the true culprit behind this whole affair is Li Changsheng. Li Changsheng was no pushover either. He retorted sharply, "For the Bai family to stab someone in the back, this method is truly shameless and despicable." The temple master realized the truth would be hard to clarify through a mere war of words between the two sides. He decided to entrust the matter impartially. "Senior Brother Luan, you handle matters justly, and don't take sides. Everyone trusts you. I will hand this note over to you for appraisal." Branch Master Luan took the note, then carefully examined and analyzed it. This type of paper is the Bai family's agarwood paper. It is not circulated externally, and only direct descendants of the Bai family are allowed to use it. The ink is a type of spiritual ink that can communicate with beasts, a specialty of the Danking Pavilion. I have no similar collectible items in my possession. I heard that after Bai Guanlin was born, the Danking Pavilion sent a large amount of this spiritual ink as a gift of congratulations. The disciples below, after hearing Branch Master Luan's analysis, decisively stated their own opinions. Bai Guanlin wasn't tricked at all. This whole thing was orchestrated by him. He brought it all upon himself. After hearing this, Li Changsheng feigned anger. He criticized to go through so much trouble, truly shameless and despicable to the extreme. After speaking, Li Changsheng was extremely satisfied, thinking to himself, what agarwood paper, what spiritual ink? This is the first time I've ever heard of these things. The content on the note is exactly as I wrote it, but the paper isn't mine, and the ink isn't mine either. And of course, it certainly wasn't done by that unlucky bastard Bai Guanlin himself. The Temple Master's methods are truly brilliant and skillful, but why does it seem like our side looks more like the villains? However, Zhang Boking, with unchanged determination, still maintained his proposal towards Branch Master Luan. Branch Master Luan, I wonder if you could let us examine that note one more time. This request made Branch Master Luan show clear annoyance on his face. His tone was somewhat harsh. Are you questioning my abilities, or perhaps even my integrity? Zhang Boking hurriedly waved his hands in denial, explaining I wouldn't dare. But this is a matter of great importance, related to the honor of a Xuandu Temple disciple. Therefore, I must personally confirm it to ensure there are no mistakes. Seeing this, the Temple Master nodded slightly. He made a gesture. A stream of spiritual energy gently lifted the note into midair, rotating it slowly, so that everyone could see every detail. The Temple Master calmly said, fine. Whispers broke out across the great hall. Everyone was stunned when they realized it really is agarwood paper and spiritual ink. Agarwood paper is a rare specialty of the Bai family. Outsiders can't buy it even with money. And the spiritual ink is a unique treasure of the Danking Pavilion. Those Confucian scholars are usually reclusive and rarely interact with us. It was only because of senior sister Ling Long that they made a special exception and gifted some to the Bai family. For a kid like Li Changsheng, he probably doesn't even know these two items exist, let alone use them to set a trap. This explanation completely cleared up all suspicion, confirming Li Changsheng was completely innocent. The Temple Master looked at the Bai family group with contempt. His voice boomed, despicable methods, a cunning heart. Unfortunately, Bai Guanlin, you only know a person's face, not their heart. What a waste of half my evening, having to witness a lowly pawn, who doesn't know his place in the world, put on such a boring self-directed play. Li Changsheng stood there, feeling extremely satisfied inside, as everything unfolded just as he had predicted. The Bai family group initially so aggressive, wanting to demand an explanation, even plotting to force the Temple Master to concede to gain greater benefits than expected. Never expected it to backfire on them so spectacularly. Now, they themselves had to admit his innocence. After the truth was revealed, Li Changsheng proactively stepped forward and respectfully suggested, Esteemed Temple Master, the truth has come to light. This disciple implores the Temple Master to act with justice and uphold righteousness on this disciple's behalf. The Temple Master, with a thoughtful expression, slowly spoke from his presiding seat. Changsheng, I know you have been greatly wronged this time, but no matter what, Bai Guanlin's status is different. Hearing this, Li Changsheng retorted defiantly, In the mortal world there's a saying, when the Son of Heaven breaks the law, he is punished like a commoner. Although Bai Guanlin has a high status, can he really defy the rules of the sect and disrespect the rules of our Xuandu Temple? This disciple absolutely cannot accept this. Everyone in the Great Hall was shocked by Li Changsheng's firm attitude and sharp words. Before anyone could react, Li Changxi spoke up, her tone full of dissatisfaction. What the hell is a Bai Guanlin? His status is nothing compared to my junior brothers. My junior brother is the reincarnation of the South Pole Emperor of Longevity. Just a measly Bai Guanlin. How dare he frame and slander my junior brother? This is insubordination deserving of extreme punishment. The Temple Master, along with Branch Master Luan and Branch Master Zhong, could only look at each other helplessly at Li Changxi's outrageous words. Li Changsheng also felt the situation was getting out of hand. He lamented in his head, damn it, Li Changxi's gone crazy again. You can't argue with a psycho. Besides, Fairy Ling Long specifically praises this particular psycho. Just then a deep and steady voice, authoritative yet filled with questioning, came from the entrance. I hear someone wants to deal with my Bai family's Liner. The old matriarch of the Bai family with a dignified appearance had arrived. The Temple Master showed extreme shock at her sudden appearance. Old matriarch, why have you come? The old matriarch of the Bai family couldn't hide her annoyance. She said, someone wants to kill my Bai family's prized child. If I don't come and see, the Bai family will truly be wronged. But the Temple Master still didn't understand the hidden meaning in her cryptic words. Old matriarch, why do you say that? At the same time, Li Changxi urgently sent a mental message to Li Changsheng. Junior brother, be careful. This is an old undying fossil of the Bai family. Her status is a bit special. She once saved my mother's life. And the Bai family's prosperity today is also thanks to this relationship. Li Changsheng couldn't help but stare, sizing up the old matriarch. Looking at this old woman's appearance, it seems she has no cultivation technique whatsoever. She could even kick the bucket at any moment. But strangely, since her appearance, the Temple Master has become extremely nervous. Not just the Temple Master, but everyone here showed clear tension. At this moment, the old matriarch of the Bai family, with an indignant face, frankly made a proposal. You have your reasons, I have my reasons. You say my Bai family framed you. The Bai family says you killed to silence witnesses. If no one will admit it, then let's check the merit. Xuandu Temple is the place with the #1 merit. If someone has killed many disciples of Xuandu Temple, then the merit aura will naturally be clear. Bai Guanlin, who was supporting her, didn't forget to add with a smug tone, Li Changsheng, you're dead meat. You'll be exposed immediately. However, Li Changsheng didn't tremble in the slightest. He thought to himself, check my merit? I'm not afraid of a merit check. I specifically went to the merit tree's illusory realm before, precisely to prepare for this kind of situation. Now he was silently calculating in his head. If arguing is useless, and the Temple Master and Li Changxi can't protect me, then I will directly project my merit and seek protection from the Xuanhuang Merit Tower. Only with the guarantee of the Temple Master, Li Changxi, and the Xuanhuang Tower of Merit can I truly accomplish great things. The situation is now developing just as I predicted, but I still refuse to back down. After a moment of thought, Li Changsheng spoke calmly. Are you teaching the Temple Master how to do his job? I thought the Master of Xuandu Temple was the one with the final say. What position do you currently hold at Xuandu Temple that gives you the right to tell the Temple Master what to do? Just then, the Temple Master hastily reminded him, his voice almost pleading. Changsheng, this is the old matriarch of the Bai family. Li Changsheng retorted without a hint of fear. The old matriarch of the Bai family. What does that have to do with our Xuandu Temple? No one has answered my question yet. What position does she hold at Xuandu Temple? What right does she have to teach the Temple Master how to do his job? Just then, the Temple Master let out a small cough, looking extremely awkward. At the same time, Li Changxi chimed in with a sarcastic tone. She doesn't hold any position at Xuandu Temple, but she is the old matriarch of the Bai family. Therefore, of course she has the right to lecture the Temple Master on his job. Li Changsheng still refused to yield, his voice ringing out with authority. Xuandu Temple is the #1 immortal sect, and also the place with the most abundant spiritual energy in the entire world. I remember the sect rules clearly state that anyone who is not a disciple of Xuandu Temple is not allowed to enter the gates of Xuandu Temple without the sect master's permission. If anyone barges into Xuandu Temple without permission, this immortal sect then, without question, they will be dealt with severely. Then he directly questioned the Temple Master. Temple Master, may I ask, did this old matriarch Bai's appearance in Xuandu Temple receive your prior approval? The Temple Master quickly replied, his voice trailing off, no. Upon hearing this, Li Changsheng seized the opportunity and made a bold proposal. Then this disciple requests the discipline hall to enforce the law and execute this old hag to preserve the sect rules. The law enforcement elder, witnessing Li Changsheng's actions that went far beyond any rules of etiquette, couldn't help but cough several times in a row. Ahem. He praised him silently in his heart. To have such a fierce general in our camp is truly a joyous thing. But if he's too fierce, I'm afraid I can't quite handle it. Next, the Temple Master seriously reminded him, Changsheng, you are not to speak nonsense. The Bai family has rendered great service to Xuandu Temple. Old Matriarch Bai is highly respected. Even Fairy Linglong holds her in high regard. You, do not be rude. He replied without a hint of fear. This disciple has learned from the sect rules that outsiders can only enter Xuandu Temple with the Temple Master's permission. Is the Temple Master implying that Fairy Linglong abdicated, but did not relinquish power? The Temple Master was so angered that he shouted, insolence! Senior Sister Linglong is a person of high moral character. How could she care about fame and fortune? Considering you are young, I will, for the time being, not pursue your baseless speculations about Senior Sister Linglong. If you repeat this offense, I will punish you severely. Li Changsheng didn't stop there. He continued to confront the Temple Master. If that's the case, then can this old matriarch blatantly violate the rules of our Xuandu Temple? The Temple Master is so strict with his disciples, yet so lenient with outsiders. This disciple is not convinced. The atmosphere was extremely tense. Suddenly, Li Changxi added, her tone dripping with sarcasm. Junior brother, it's useless for you to be unconvinced, because you are just a commoner, while old Matriarch Bai is the matriarch of the Bai family. For the Temple Master to be kissing up and kicking down, treating people differently, is also very normal. You should learn to accept it and be grateful. Who told you not to have a rich and powerful father? After hearing this conversation, the Bai family members couldn't help but think to themselves, they're all cut from the same cloth. The Temple Master then looked sorrowful, walking towards the old matriarch of the Bai family, his tone full of helplessness. Old matriarch, you see Changxi and Changsheng are both my juniors, but they have a firm grasp of the sect rules. I can't just punish them without cause and become a laughingstock. She was no longer stubborn. She sighed softly and replied, Linglong has just left her position, and already the tea grows cold. Truly, human relationships are fickle, and the world is cold. This old woman has now understood. Li Changsheng didn't hold back at all. He directly reminded the old woman, stop pulling the age card with me. Fairy, Linglong letting you stay is out of her affection for you. The Temple Master telling you to leave the mountain is his duty. At your age, to still ignore the facts and try to morally strong-arm people is truly shameful. But the crowd's eyes were drawn to Li Changsheng's incomprehensible reaction, sparking whispers and discussions. Is Li Changsheng really mentally unstable? Or was Li Changsheng also framed? Doubt spread, but another question arose. If Li Changsheng is innocent, then why would old matriarch Bai, who is by no means a fool, insist on a verification from the Xuanhuang Merit Tower? This contradiction confused everyone. But in the meantime, the master of Xuandu Temple was deep in thought. He knew that although merit could be transferred, merit gifted by others was completely different from merit accumulated by oneself. Therefore, it could absolutely not pass the strict verification of the Xuanhuang Merit Tower. Where did the problem lie? Was this kid really infected by Li Changxi's craziness to the point of becoming insane? He silently wondered, full of doubt. Amidst the tense atmosphere, Li Changsheng stepped forward and clasped his hands respectfully, but with a determined gaze he said, "I implore the Temple Master to grant my request." The Temple Master saw this action and became even more certain in his heart. He is clearly the one who committed the crime, but where does he get the confidence to accept the verification of the Xuanhuang Merit Tower? He calculated carefully. The grade of the Xuanhuang Merit Tower is too high. In my current position, I can't control or cheat it. Everything can only rely on Li Changsheng himself, so he spoke in an authoritative tone. The Xuanhuang Merit Tower is the #1 divine artifact of Xuandu Temple, our greatest foundation, the guarantee of this sect's longevity. But if it can prove Li Changsheng was wronged, then Bai Guanlin will also have to pay a heavy price. The Temple Master continued with a solemn and weighty voice. At that time, even senior sister Linglong will not be able to protect Bai Guanlin. Do you all understand? Li Changsheng showed no fear and replied decisively, "Understood." In his heart, a clear analysis emerged. The true form of the Xuanhuang Merit Tower exists in the primordial immortal realm, where it can observe the entire world and is held by the most powerful saint. This is the foundation of Xuandu Temple's longevity, the reason it is the #1 immortal sect in this world. He glanced at Bai Guanlin and thought, even if Bai Guanlin really did kill someone, it's not that big of a deal. After all, crimes can still be covered up. However, if the Xuanhuang Merit Tower personally confirms Bai Guanlin's guilt, then even the powerful fairy Linglong will not be able to cover for him anymore. The old matriarch of the Bai family stared at Li Changsheng, her thoughts in turmoil. She believed there was a 99% chance that Li Changsheng had a mental problem, likely heavily influenced by Li Changxi. But there was still a slim 1% chance that all of this was actually a play, orchestrated by Bai Guanlin himself. Then she spoke sternly, instructing, "Liner, this is your last chance." Then she sent a mental message into his ear, her voice laced with deep worry. "Liner, if you really did it, it's not too late to back out now." When Bai Guanlin heard those words, seeing that his grandmother didn't trust him, he trembled with rage. He immediately pointed a finger straight at Li Changsheng, resolutely demanding verification. "Verify it immediately. I can't believe I can't win. I am innocent. I never did this. No one can frame me." Hearing this, Li Changsheng's expression remained calm. He replied sarcastically, "Those are my lines. Are you trying to steal them? How pathetic." Bai Guanlin was seething with rage, his eyes burning. "Li Changsheng, wait until your true nature is exposed. We'll see if you can still be as arrogant as you are now." Li Changsheng was still completely at ease, a mysterious smile on his face. "You simply don't understand the value of the South Pole, Emperor of Longevity like me." In another corner, Li Changxi was extremely pleased with her junior brother's reaction. Throughout the world, she thought to herself, probably only I can understand my junior brother. Being invincible is so lonely. Very quickly, the space trembled. The majestic Xuanhuang Merit Tower appeared in the middle of the Great Hall. The Temple Master's powerful voice echoed. "If that's the case, then activate the Xuanhuang Merit Tower. Begin the aura-drawing grand array." Next, a brilliantly shining lotus, radiating a blinding light, slowly appeared. The other disciples were dazed by the intense light, forced to squint their eyes. Only Li Changsheng remained calm and fearless. He gently took the lotus in his hand. The brilliant light from the lotus immediately merged into his body, causing his entire body to emit a dazzling aura. The Temple Master, seeing this scene, was so shocked he had to exclaim, "This is..." The law enforcement elder couldn't believe his eyes. He exclaimed, "My God! In my entire life, I have never seen so much merit." Branch Master Zhong was utterly astonished. He rubbed his eyes several times and asked, "Am I blind? Isn't that a complete golden lotus of merit?" The other disciples in the Great Hall were completely overwhelmed, chattering excitedly. One lotus petal of merit means savings at least 100,000 lives. And this is a complete lotus of merit. Has Li Changsheng saved the world before? Now, I really suspect that Li Changsheng is the reincarnation of the South Pole Emperor of Longevity. He really is. Astonished voices and excited chatter echoed throughout the Great Hall. The influx of Xuanhuang Qi is too terrifying. The Xuanhuang Tower has personally verified it. It absolutely cannot be fake. What on earth has Li Changsheng done? I don't know what Li Changsheng has done, but I know for sure that Li Changsheng is absolutely not the type to kill, to silence witnesses. Li Changxi was very pleased with this scene, a meaningful smile on her face. The Temple Master seemed to see the manifestation of the Longevity Emperor standing behind Li Changsheng, shocked to his core. Could it be that Li Changsheng really is the reincarnation of the South Pole Emperor of Longevity? I originally thought Li Changsheng was an outstanding talent, but now it seems my perspective was far too narrow. Very quickly, the Temple Master realized something astounding. Li Changsheng is actually using the Xuanhuang Qi to temper his body, while also using the merit aura to enhance his cultivation realm. At this moment, Li Changsheng was telling himself silently, after swallowing the golden core, I knew my destiny was not up to the heavens. He was slowly absorbing the abundant spiritual energy in the golden core, stepping into the golden core realm step by step. But in a flash, Li Changsheng had passed the test with ease. Now he was extremely confident, his cold, sharp gaze directed towards Bai Guanlin. He spoke with a sneer. Bai Guanlin, it's your turn. Li Changsheng's gaze fell upon him, containing a stream of cold killing intent.